Boys Club.
Is it called Boys Club because my apartment looks like a boy lives in it?
I wouldn't say a boy lives in it. I would say a boy is kidnapped somewhere in here.
Boys Club.
We're everything. We're true crime. We're World Star Hip Hop.
We're World Star Hip Hop. We're Netflix reviews.
Stories of the day.
Boys Club.
Listen.
Yeah, do it. We're on iTunes. We're on Spotify. I think. No, we're not. And on Google Play. Nobody gives a shit.
Boys Club.
Boys Club Podcast. Now with 90% more sound clips of black people.
Boys Club.
Touch me, and I'll sue.
Here at Intoxicated Reviews, we intellectually dissect the art of cinema, scene by scene. Here's some clips.
All he is. It's just a fucking big wooden doll full of cum, chasing kids around.
You look up guys who poop in a bag. Because I think that's where you'll find him. Because he is hurt.
It's probably just in your search history anyway, isn't it?
This movie fucking blows.
So don't forget to subscribe to Intoxicated Reviews on all places you find podcasts. Except Spotify. We're working on it.
Do not take product if you are hypersensitive.
Oh, hey, Internet. Welcome back to the Intoxicated Podcast. I'm your host, Sarah McClellan. This is a weekly comedy variety talk show that gets personal with comedians, friends, and various guests. And we shoot the shit about life while having a couple drinks. This is attempt number 3 at an intro. My first one, I recorded fully, and I was totally recording to the computer mic and not my real mic. So, yeah, this is attempt number 3 to get this intro done. I'm going to try my best to keep this quick. This is a long episode this week, but a great one nonetheless. This week, we actually have another Marc on the podcast. Last week, we had Marc Anthony Synagoga, and this week, it's my good friend and podcasting partner in crime, Marc Boudreau. So Marc is a returning guest. He did an episode on Intoxicated back in May with him and his former co-host of the Brand New View podcast. Things have changed quite a bit since then. So a lot of this episode is us talking about a new exciting thing that is happening, which is the launch of a podcast production business called BNV Media. This is Marc's beast of a project that he's taking on. He's absolutely killing it so far, and I'm actually very happy to say that I'm going to be working with him on this as much as I can. I wish I could give more time than I can, but I'm going to do my best to work with Marc on this business. And essentially what it is offering podcast production services to startups and hobbyists and really anyone who wants to start a podcast. Anything from consultation to actually producing it, artwork, marketing, editing, all the fun things that go into podcasting. So whatever it is that you need for your podcast, we can probably help you out with that. And this is going to be a business. So this is very exciting stuff. This has been in the works for a while, and we do talk about this whole journey going from hosting a podcast to turning it into kind of a media company. So really, really cool stuff. Marc's a great friend of mine. This was a really fun episode. I want to give a big thank you to Marc for coming on because he came over and recorded, and he was flying out at 5 a.m. the next morning. And this was one of those weeks that I didn't have a guest lined up. I was just struggling to schedule somebody, and I have a bunch of things in the works that are coming in the coming weeks. But this week, I really needed an episode, and it's always good to sit down with someone who you're really used to and you're friends with, and it just kind of is an easy thing. So this was a really fun episode. Big thank you, Marc. It actually got really fucking deep towards the end, towards the second half. Some deep shit that we got into, but I really, really liked it. I mean, I love it when that happens. So great, supersized episode this week. You are going to find out all about the different podcasts that Marc is working with on different levels. We tell you all about those awesome podcasts, and I'm going to make sure to link below to all of their social media so you can check them out. It's a pretty awesome podcast community here in Halifax, and we are excited to be a part of that. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Make sure to follow Marc on social media and stay tuned for more information about BNV Media. And I'm going to update you guys as things become more official with that, because we are still working out the kinks with the website and making sure that that's all finalized and stuff like that. So stay tuned for more information. Make sure to follow Intoxicated on social media. That's Facebook and Instagram at Intoxicated Podcast. On Twitter, we are _Toxicated. If you dig the show, make sure you are subscribed and you can leave an iTunes rating or review. It's always extremely helpful in terms of visibility for the show. You can send questions, feedback, comments to intoxicatedpodcast@gmail.com. Send me some life advice questions. Send me anything. I mean, I'm down to hear anything, really. Also, make sure to check out Intoxicated on Twitch and YouTube. Links below to that as well, because that is where the live streams will be. And there's actually going to be a live stream coming up when this comes out. It will be tomorrow, so Saturday the 26th on Twitch and YouTube at 9 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time. It's going to be a Halloween live stream. I'm very excited for that. Please tune in, because every single time I do these streams, I am just unbelievably nervous and anxious that no one's going to show up and no one's going to watch. So don't make me feel like that loser in high school, and tune into the live stream and send me some comments in the chat. Love to hear from you guys, especially listeners of the podcast. Also, if you want to take everything a step further, if you really, really dig this, you can check out the Intoxicated Patreon page, patreon.com/intoxicated. You can donate a monthly amount. There's various levels, and you can get extra content for that. So that's about it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this supersized episode with Marc Boudreau.
Look at that B.
Look at that branding.
BMV.
You're taller.
I'm not tall. I'm going to feel especially short over the next 2 days with fucking NBA players.
Fuck.
Oh, you're 6'9"? Some people think I'm 5'9". So
I think I'm like 5'2" or 5'3". I'm so short.
They're so tall. They're giants. I've said this before, and I'm not going to say it again because now I'm like, I can't. But
No,
like,
you're being recorded.
But giants are the same
Oh shit,
thing.
I'm streaming. Fuck. I first started. Hang on, let me just see if that went anywhere. I'll just double check. I don't think it did, but I mean, honestly, if I were to name drop, I would ruin lives and careers.
Ooh, juicy. Let's get juicy.
All right, let's fucking do this shit.
Let's go.
Oh my gosh, we are back. We are back. Back in the New York groove. Oh, that's not, I don't even know the melody of that song. We are back on the Intoxicated Podcast, everybody. Ooh, 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 ooh. It's a solo episode with a returning guest. I don't know why I'm singing. I'm actually delirious. I'm so sleep deprived.
A lot of anxiety in the room right now, and I'm feeding on that.
Do I seem anxious?
I have no idea. I am though, so I can't tell.
I don't get the vibe that you're anxious.
I hide it quite well. Right here.
Right in the tummy.
Right, there's just like a tennis ball right here. It's fantastic.
Guys, we're back with Marc Boudreau.
Hi, everyone.
Marc, you did, I don't remember your episode number, but it was a while ago.
69, no.
With your former co-host of your former
Ben
podcast.
Brammer. Shout out, Mr. Brammer.
Ben Brammer. Shout out. But yeah, you did an episode with him.
Yeah, I haven't seen him.
And
in
now
ages.
you're back by yourself.
I am back by myself. Well, I mean, shit, so much has happened, right? I mean, I don't even host Brand New View anymore. Brand New View, the podcast itself, is on hiatus.
Is it totally on hiatus?
No.
Entirely?
My host towards the end of it, Sid Kasatsky, who was also on
Yes.
Intoxicated with his
Yes.
his now separated wife.
He was on Roost's podcast with his now separate wife.
Fuck, yeah.
He was just on by himself with me.
Got my local podcast confused there.
No worries. It happens. Like, I wish I could have had them on. I would have asked a lot of inappropriate
Right?
questions.
I mean, he's pretty inappropriate, so he probably would have answered them. But yeah, he is supposed to take over like Brand New View with Sid Kasatsky, but we're still in the works. We've been so fucking busy.
So things have changed quite a bit. So, well, let's not get too ahead of ourselves here. We're drinking.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. Oh my God, my drink totally matches the curtains.
Oh, the drapes match the curtains.
So we are drinking. You are drinking some Propeller IPA. Dippa?
Double IPA.
Dippa.
Shout out Propeller. They had Dippa.
Dippa. Is that literally what you call it? Dippa?
Yeah, people say that. They had an election party last night at Propeller. Oh, there's a real fucking barn burner. Watch the election. I don't understand that people who have election parties. Like, yeah, I voted, but I'm not going to watch people slowly count up votes.
So that's interesting that you say that. I went to Gus's pub. So what they did at Gus's was they had comedians up on stage with mics.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah. See, that's a little different because they're like kind of making fun of everybody and like
like
kind of like ball busting, and like the owner of Gus is like bought us pizza, and I was like, you know what?
Ooh, that's what that pizza was.
I never enjoy like elections either, and I had a really good time. Thank you, Gus's Pub, and shout out Andrew Vaughn and Martin Edwards for planning that.
Shout out, okay.
Because it was a lot of fun. It was just like we just hung out and stuck around to like 11:30ish, and then we kind of shut her down. But there was like a big screen projector, and so we were watching coverage, and the comedians were up there just like busting balls, and it was a lot of fun. Highly
Liberal
recommend.
minority.
Yeah, which, okay, I won't lie. By the way, I'm drinking a Caesar, just a Mott's bottled Caesar. P.S. In case you want to sponsor us, come on, Mott's.
Mott's probably
I don't know
out of our
YouTube's
range.
policy about logos or anything, but I'll find out eventually. But yeah, I admittedly don't know a lot about politics, admittedly. But
I don't think a lot of people do. They
I
just
never
pretend.
knew what a minority government meant until last night.
It means nothing's going to get done.
Pretty much. Yeah.
But it also means like some things that we may not want to get done. Like, I don't know, say some pipelines.
Right.
Won't get done, which is good in the long run. I mean, I don't want this podcast to get political, but people are very absolute in that we need to save the planet. And I get that, but we can't just go snap our fingers and make the pipelines go away.
Right. Yeah, 100%.
A lot of our economy is based on it. So yes, we need to phase it out. Probably going to like lose friends because of this. And that's how polarizing politics has gotten.
But I get it. It's everyone has, here's the thing. We all have to learn to understand and respect that people are going to have different opinions than us.
Right.
And we're not going to like it. But you gotta respect the fact that we can all have opinions. How lucky are we to live in a world that we're allowed to?
Yeah, you want to talk about China?
Yeah.
Jeez,
oh yeah, you're all
Hong
about
Kong?
this stuff.
Oh man, I've been way too political lately.
Getting fired up over here.
Check out the Safety Off podcast.
Oh yes. Oh my God, we have like so much.
We have a lot of plugs to do.
I know, because when were you and Ben on? When would that have been?
I'm going to look it up, okay?
Yeah,
sorry, folks. We got our phones out.
I won't lie. I should have had that prepared beforehand, but you know me.
Can we get much higher? All right. Where the fuck was that? Did I not even make a post about that?
I could probably go back through Intoxicated and find it faster than you. It's a race. It's a race to find out.
It's a race.
Because I don't know about you, but I have no concept. Like, if you were to quiz me on my own podcast episodes, I would suck at it.
Episode 110, May 7th.
Holy shit, it was back in May. Okay.
I win.
So
that's a long
June,
time
July,
ago.
August. So like 5 months. 5 months ago, a lot has changed in 5 months.
A lot has changed. I mean, yeah, back then it was just Brand New View podcast, of course. Mm-hmm. I'm so used to using a condenser mic, so I'm like, I need to be talking into it from the side.
It's more like right here.
No, this is perfect, Mark. Chill out.
Yeah, I love these mics.
I know they're great.
They're honestly like one of the, I think, other than my computer, the best purchase I think I've
Dynamic.
made.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Whoops. Sorry, guys. Didn't put it on vibrate.
Now we're going to be like,
folks.
hire us to produce your podcast.
It's like, who is this guy? But no, we went from doing the one podcast, Brand New View. I mean, I started Brand New View trying to get into this world of podcasting and creatives and entrepreneurs and just see what I could make of it kind of thing.
Yeah.
So the Brand New View is kind of like a key to a door.
Ooh, I like that metaphor.
Right?
It was the starting point.
It was the starting point.
And it was always the starting point.
Yeah.
Right? Which is interesting to me because a lot of people, I think, when they get into podcasts, they just kind of try it. It's kind of like stand-up comedy. You just kind of try it and then you're like, oh, I want to do more and keep, like, make it better. And you had a vision from the start. Like,
well, I mean, I don't
you
sort of.
You didn't launch right away. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, there was some work put into it.
There was thought and work.
But initially, what Ben and I thought would happen, sort of. I mean, it was kind of the plan. I don't really know. I mean, with Ben, it may have been temporary the whole time. I don't really know. Still love the guy though.
We haven't been recording. We got the audio. I'll include the audio in. We'll start over.
Hello, folks. Welcome to the YouTube version of this podcast. We've actually been talking for the last 10 to 15 minutes. Glad to see you.
Actually, only 11.
Only 11, so you didn't miss out too much. It was mostly talking about the election last night, and I think we're all kind of fed up with politics. So,
Marc Boudreau's here.
hey, it's your boy. We are drinking double IPA. Okay.
Sorry about that, guys. I forgot to hit record because I was telling Mark about how the buttons are small and how I can't read them and how I accidentally hit start streaming and then I never hit start recording. Whoops. So that's what happens sometimes when you're busy and tired and then you got to record a podcast.
Yeah.
Because consistency is key, and at least I'm here doing it, and I didn't skip on you.
That's right.
So there you go.
Every week, more than 2.5 years running.
That's right, baby.
We got that 3 years near your birthday, right?
Yeah, around there. Yeah.
February-ish?
Yeah, end of February.
666.
Will be 3
Check out
years.
that party. We'll talk about that later. Oh, right. So, yeah, what was I getting into?
Oh,
I
yeah,
was
we were
talking
saying,
about...
Yeah, Brand New View and how Brand New View
View.
podcast, how you had a bigger vision for it.
Yeah, so initially,
somewhat early on.
sort of, yeah, the idea was just strictly Brand New View. Ben and I thought, we could go the sick boy route and grow this podcast to a point where it's big enough where we could make money off of advertising dollars, off of live podcasts, live shows. And that's tough. I mean, kudos to Sick Boy because it is not easy to get to that point.
So that's kind of like what I wanted to ask you about. So I feel like this is a thing with a lot of new people trying to get into podcasting. Because I think when we think of doing a podcast ourselves, we think of who we look up to. Like in this case, a Sick Boy or, people who have bigger fan bases who are making money off of it. You never really think, oh shit, like I have no idea how long it's going to take to build that base. Because you got to get the base, then you have to convince them to pay for things.
That's terrible.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's not easy. I mean, I think they've been doing it for at least 3 to 5 years.
More than that, a long time.
So they've built that foundation, and it took a while. And like you said, it really comes back to the consistency, and of course the product you're putting out there.
But also I would say as well with them. Have you ever watched the documentary that they did about
With CBC?
their journey?
No.
It's interesting because they right out the gate did a Kickstarter campaign to raise money for equipment. So they never Intoxicated started with a snowball mic and a laptop and a kitchen table. Like I was very budget ghetto, like
Budget ghetto.
I don't know if that's probably not
Coming
the right term.
to a university textbook
Budget
near
ghetto.
you.
But I went small. They knew that they wanted to make a quality podcast, so they knew right away that they needed to invest in equipment.
Right.
So they did a Kickstarter campaign. The thing is, these guys too, I think, had really good social networks, aka friends who really wanted to support them.
Yeah, and Jeremy's an actor, so they already had
a little bit of a base.
A little bit of a base, and as we both learn, it takes a while to kind of find your voice and find what type of podcaster you want to be. They've kind of made it. I mean, they all have different personalities, but I think they all have different personas as well. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily how all of them are in real life, so it's kind of
but that's the thing. I feel like podcasts are pretty close to real life.
I'd say so.
It's not like Big Brother where there's webcams in their apartment kind of thing. I mean, there might be webcams in here, but I would say like
to doors.
It's one of the more genuine art forms, depending on what kind of like if you have an interview-based podcast. I mean,
well, it's raw. You don't have this network that you have to go through and everything. Like 3 people, one above the other, have to approve everything. Like,
right?
No, you can just put your shit out there into the world.
You have full control, and with them, they really truly did something different that actually hit a universal base. Everyone knows someone who's been sick. Everyone's been sick. Like it's just one of those things that literally everyone can relate to, and it's fascinating. And so they really hit all the right points for them to rocket launch into success.
I mean, it was let's laugh about these diseases essentially. Yeah. And Jeremy is, he's an actor, but I'd imagine he's got some comedic chops because he's a funny guy. Like we went to the live show this past January when they were at Park Lane, and it was kind of felt like a stand-up show. Like there was a lot of comedic elements to it. Yeah. So they're doing well. I think we've probably
Hammered
their
that.
dicks long. And no, that's terrible.
You and I both totally respect what they do, and I think we strive to get to that point.
Yeah, and so like I was saying, that,
You know,
that was
like-
the initial goal, was to get to that point, Ben and I, with Brand New View. And we kind of found that probably after 4 months, we sort of plateaued with listeners, and we were like, okay, this is kind of where we've either got to say, are we going to stick with this?
And ramp it up.
And maybe go another year and then see the results? Or are we going to take,
Take a different route.
Take a different route,
Yeah.
take a different strategy point. And that's kind of the direction we went, because Ben wanted to phase out. I mean, he was working a 9 to 5. I had quit my job to do this, so I was just serving on the side, which I still am.
Right.
So I had a lot more flexibility with my schedule.
Yeah.
And Ben was kind of burnt out at that point. He was starting a new relationship, which he's still in. Shout out Ben and Lainey.
Very nice.
And so that a lot of any of that extra free time that was going to the podcast, he was like, well, I want to kind of, I've got this new thing on
And
the
this is what happens. And the
Right.
thing is, you and him were a team. And so not only is it you, but it's another person involved and their emotional wellness or whatever it is in this thing.
Right.
So if it's not even, it's kind of like any relationship. If it's not even, we got to break up, or we got to,
Exactly.
it's a mutual breakup.
It is, yeah. Oh, yeah. We're still very much friends. But that was the thing.
Yeah.
We were friends beforehand, and then it kind of became a business relationship more than friends. Like whenever we were together, we were talking about the podcast. We weren't just like shooting the shit anymore.
Right. Which is so interesting.
I know, right? Like I think that's why they say don't go into business with your friends.
But we're friends.
Yeah, that's true. It's like, I don't know what you're fucking talking about, Sarah. I don't even know you.
But
No,
one thing
sure.
I will say about us is like our friendship is
Doesn't
based
go
on the
back
business.
that yeah, we're both podcasters. Like
Yeah.
that's how we met.
It's not like we were friends before you had the idea to start brand new View Media.
And realistically, Jamie, our sound engineer, I've known him since I was 4. But
So that's a little different.
whatevs.
But I mean, it's the way this is going to work is still to be confirmed in terms of dynamics.
Yeah, we're just starting out.
and all that.
And what we're talking about, folks, because we kind of
Ooh.
jumped ahead
Yeah, we
there.
did. We jumped the shark.
Was the route that we've now decided to take. So instead of just doing Brand New View, one podcast, we are now producing other podcasts for ourselves, so our original network, but then we're also on the other side of things producing branded podcasts for companies, brands, clients, influencers, whoever
Hobbyists.
wants one, hobbyists, etc. So a lot of the time you'll see companies like Gimlet and CBC, they have their original network of podcasts that they have full control over. Like they're not producing those podcasts for another company. It's for them. So we have those. We have 4 now. Safety Off, which I was referring to earlier for our audio friends out there, because I don't think the YouTube people got that one.
Safety Off. And what's
Safety
Safety
Off.
Off about?
So Safety Off is hosted by childhood friends Ankur Gupta and Patrick Morris. They're from Southend, Halifax. They are engaging in uncensored debates, essentially, and not uncensored in the sense that it's like very crude and racist. It's not like that. It's just we don't have, like I said earlier, we don't have a network that we don't have to like go to the network heads and be like, is this okay to talk about?
Yeah.
Like, for example, the last episode was about the controversy in China with the NBA and the Hong Kong protests.
Right.
We don't have to worry about that. We can have, off limits discussion, I suppose. you
It's
could say.
essentially say what you want.
Say what you want, and it's centered around politics, sports, and culture. Typically, we're 3 episodes in. The first 2 were 3 separate topics: one about sports, one about politics, one about culture. But with the Hong Kong protests, it's all encompassing. So we just covered China for
Right.
1 episode. Great episode. Check it out. Safety Off Podcast.
And these are podcasts that are out right now.
They're out right now.
They are. It's being done already.
Being done already.
So that's one.
That's one. Then we have What You Make It.
Yeah.
Hosted by local celebrity Ryan Williams. He's a photographer.
I
Check
only
him out.
met him briefly at Five Guys when I was in a rush, so I feel bad that I didn't get to
Oh,
talk to
right.
him more.
Yeah. We're getting those 5
Because
guys.
I did his cover art, which is kind of special.
Yeah, I love that cover art, by the way.
Yeah, it
It's-
was really cool to do.
Right? It's very like streamlined. It pops.
I really enjoy the visual aspect of branding a podcast because it's so important. And and it will take you a while to figure out what you want the look and feel of your brand to be. But that to me is really, really fun. Like playing with font, playing with color, playing with images. Like I love that. So that was really cool for me to
Bringing
do.
your podcast to life.
Bringing your podcast to life.
Which is the BNV Media slogan.
So what you make it, and he talks to entrepreneurs.
So he talks to influencers, entrepreneurs. He's a very charismatic guy, and
I'll have to reach out to him.
we've kind of tried to center it more around him because that's more the strategy we've been taking is, people aren't going to come back each week to listen to a new guest. They're going to come back each week because they want to listen to the host interviewing a new guest. You hit a nail on the head there. I think that is a struggle for me because I have new guests every week and they're a wide range of people. Yeah.
Comedians, characters, business owners, friends, podcasters. Like I will have anyone on who I think is cool and interesting, but you're right. It has to come back to you.
Right.
The connection with the host.
Exactly. People aren't watching Anderson 360 because they want to hear about the news. They want to see Anderson Cooper.
Yeah, it's like
chatting about what's going on in the world.
Exactly. And that's why a lot of times I try to make my content personal because it does bring me into it more.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's like you'll see a lot of like advice podcasts that take listener questions. They'll have celebrities on, but again, it goes back to we're just going to answer these questions.
Yeah.
So you have the guest on and they're an amazing person, but it all comes back to the format of taking it, like giving advice to listeners. So it's interesting that you say that. Yeah, that's a very good point.
And that's something we found out, over the course of kind of the last year, just learning about podcasts, like Podcasting 101.
Yeah.
So that's a good one. Check it out. He's on, or I guess we're on episode 3, episode 4 coming out. Well, it already came out, actually, by the time this will be out. 4 episodes are out now, folks.
4 episodes,
Check it
little
out.
baby.
What You Make It podcast.
I love that. What You Make It. Lots of plugs on this episode. This is going to be like kind of like a showcase for BNV.
This is the BNV Media episode.
And I gotta say thank you, like, for coming on because you're literally catching a flight in a matter of hours.
Oh yes, we'll get into that as well.
But okay, so that's
speaking of, we got the Orlando itinerary right here.
Oh, perfect. So that's What You Make It.
So that's What You Make It, and
what else we got?
Then we have the False 9, which I may have given a shout out to back in May.
I think you did, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the soccer podcast that I host with my cousin and his friend. More of just like a hobbyist podcast, just having fun talking about soccer all around the world and making jokes in between.
But very niche, which is actually good for podcasts.
Niche. And we, I have a decent knowledge of the game of soccer from playing FIFA and following the leagues, but those two, they know too much. Right. Mike and Neil, if you're listening to this, get out of your house more often, okay? You guys know way too much about soccer. I'm just kidding. Continue what you're doing, otherwise we wouldn't have anything to talk about. But no, it's great. They're diehard fans. It's a fun podcast to do, and you never know, it could go somewhere. We'll see. And then, of course, we have Brand New View, the original, and then down the road, very soon, actually, Brand New View with Sid Kasatsky. So keep that branding with Brand New View, but then adding Sid into it. So those are our original podcasts. We also have a podcast launching in about 3 weeks called Lather, Rinse, Repeat.
Yes, dating podcast with 2 lovely ladies.
Yeah, 2 lovely ladies from Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. Shout out D-Town.
Why don't you go into an accent when you're talking about Dartmouth?
Because I'm from Halifax, and it is my due diligence. It is my duty to make fun of those people.
I'm genuinely excited for this one, just on my end, because I love dating podcasts, and I'm helping them with their logo, and that's really exciting. And yeah, this is going to be one that I'd like to put an ad on Intoxicated for.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because should be really interesting. Maybe I'll send them a couple questions because I got questions.
Oh, send them away. They're looking for people to send in questions because we're recording right now. We haven't launched yet, but we've recorded 3 episodes so far.
Speaking of which, I should give them Geneva Dickey's info because she's the Halifax matchmaker. She would be great on that. She would be great on that podcast. Check out JE Matchmaking for your matchmaking services.
Check it out.
I didn't win the Bachelorette contest, but there's always a couple months. I was the most nominated person.
Really?
Yeah. So
Why
they
did
did
you win then?
So I
think
it's just a draw. So my chances were upped, but I still
ain't that a bitch?
It was really, I really thought I was going to win. I won't lie. Like when she was like going to announce it, I was kind of prepping myself for the Instagram story of me being like, I won. Thank you. I won. And then it was like, she tagged me in the post of the winner, which I was like,
What?
Actually, really cute girl who's the new Halifax Bachelorette.
What's her name? Maybe I'll look it up.
Here, I'll pull her up. Actually,
wait, there's a thing? There's a Halifax Bachelorette?
Okay.
Was she going to go on dates with people now?
So
Like, what is this shit?
Here's the deal with this. So this Halifax Bachelorette gets to go on 3 dates with 3 guys, 2 of which are chosen by Instagram. So I could nominate you.
No, don't do that.
If
I don't
you
want
think
to
she's
use
cute,
the internet to get a date.
Well, if you think she's cute, I could nominate you and you could go on a date with her. I think she's pretty cute. I think she's kind of your type. I won't lie. I think
she looks too much like my ex.
she's an occupational. I was just gonna say that she does look a lot like your ex girl. I think that's why I said that. Her name is Jill. She's 25. She's an occupational therapist.
Oh,
25 is kind of young, but
there's never much love when you. Where's her Instagram?
I don't think that. I don't know if she tagged. Oh yeah, they tagged a bunch of people.
Good God.
I don't think that they. I think maybe she doesn't want to be. Maybe she doesn't want to show it off. Maybe. I don't know. If I was the Halifax Bachelorette, I would have pumped myself out. I was very excited. I was very excited to potentially win that though, and then I didn't win.
Pumps in tonight.
But yeah, she gets to go on 3 dates with 3 men, 1 from
3 very eligible bachelors.
eligible bachelors. Yeah.
From Instagram.
From 2
I'm
from Instagram, 1
curious. I
one
wanna
from the Book
follow
of
this.
Love, which is her clientele.
Ooh. I'm not
It's
in that. I'm not
very
in the Book of Love.
exciting. Not. Would you ever hire a matchmaker?
No.
No. Are you back? Okay, so you are now single.
Wait, let's hold
We're not
that
burying the
thought
lead.
because we're not done with.
Oh,
BNV
that's
Media.
true. That's true.
But we will get to this.
I'm getting
We will
ahead
get
of
to this.
myself. I know I'm typical me. I'm like, let's get personal right away.
Oh, I know. So Lather, Rinse, Repeat podcast.
Yes.
So Jessica and Himali, they are the 2 hosts, and they've been friends for I don't know how long. It lasts a little while. They worked together in the service industry. Shout out Moxie's, I guess. And
What was that?
I'm just joking. Shut up,
Weirdest-
Moxie's. Sure.
What is the weirdest? Apparently, they have amazing chicken wings.
I have no ties to Moxie's. I don't want to shout it out. But anyways.
Yeah.
So Jess has been kind of dating for the last while and hasn't found that special guy. And Himali's been in a relationship for like the last 8 years or something.
So they're coming from different perspectives.
Yeah, so they contrast one another quite nicely. And
which is really good to have on a show, actually, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, coming from someone who attempted a dating podcast.
How
with
many
2
dudes did you kiss this summer?
It's a sore spot.
Bagels.
Yeah, that didn't really work out.
Hey,
But that just goes to show that mindset is important when it comes to dating and podcasting. When you mix the 2, it becomes even more important. So if you're in a shitty spot, you're on the mood to date, and you feel like you have to force yourself to date for the podcast, that's not a good place to be in.
very true. You don't want to turn dating into a
Game.
job.
A game. Yeah.
I mean, it is a game.
A
though. Let's be
job.
realistic.
But you're right, a job.
Yeah, and you don't want that.
You don't want to feel like you have to do it. Like I've been in a shitty place. I'm just trying to rid myself of codependency on people.
About it. Me too.
So it's
It's tough. I mean,
it's really tough.
especially just, I mean, us growing up. Oh shit! I pressed control. Are we good? Some things went away. I think,
We're good.
or maybe it didn't. I don't know.
We're good.
But like we grow up and we're the idea of like a perfect kind of life is, you know, you go to school, you do well, you go to university, you get a good job, and you meet that
You meet
person.
someone right away.
You meet
And
someone
it
right
works
away.
out right
yeah,
away.
You get married, you have kids, you buy a house, and live happily ever after. And for sure, that does happen for some people, and good for them. But I think we're kind of at a point where, I don't know, I just have, me personally, I have way more questions about life now. And I was that person. Like, I was girl crazy growing up. I still am.
You are, yeah. I would call you girl crazy. Not in an overwhelming way.
I'm distracted by
Yes, you
females, and I'm trying to get better.
Just walking down the street with Mark. I'm like, Mark, over here. I'm talking to you.
Shit.
Stop.
Fuck, that's terrible. Terrible. It's 2019, Mark. Get it together. Ooh.
You're never disrespectful.
Down boy.
You just like
no.
checking people out. It's all
Yeah,
good.
it's whatever. It's just with the eyes. Looking's
Yeah.
for free. Touching's going to cost you.
Yeah.
But no, I'm just, and so I centered my life around, you know, like you find that person and you get married and you have a great time. But now I'm just, I mean, as we kind of mentioned, damn, we're getting into the dating thing. I wanted to shout out Courtside Moms. Whatever, we'll get to that later. We're fine now.
You have to listen to the episode to get the shout outs.
Yeah.
It's like an Easter egg hunt.
I know, right?
You don't know when it's going to
If you
happen.
want to talk about Courtside Moms, a different podcast.
Well, we're going to have
working
to
on.
tie dating into basketball somehow.
Ooh, Love and Basketball. Great movie. Check it out. Used to watch that with my babysitters. That was like 20 years ago. I don't have babysitters anymore.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, I mean, I was in a relationship for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Maybe more. I don't even know. That's jury's out on that one. But,
For a while.
Been single for the last 3 months and really more than anything, just trying to focus on myself and personal goals. I mean, before my personal goals were finding a girlfriend. Oh, burp just came up, folks.
That's okay. It's a drinking podcast. It's allowed.
Oopsies. My stomach's like, whoa, you're talking about the difficult stuff right now. No, I'm just joking.
It's like, this is what happens when
yeah,
we get
like,
into emotions.
There's
Yeah.
everything. But no, it was it's good. I feel like I'm in a healthier place in terms of just looking after myself. Like I was always looking for someone else to look after instead of looking after myself and trying to meet my goals instead of like finding someone and then having shared goals.
Yes. Or having individual goals that you just support each other.
Right. So it was just, it wasn't healthy. I mean, my ex-girlfriend, we're still on very good terms and I still, like, I'll always love her. Like she's great. Like I'll always be there to support her. But I'm in a different mindset now where it's like, you need to figure out who you are and get on your personal goals and create that legacy that you've always wanted to create for yourself.
Yes.
So
you are busy doing that now for yourself. You can't be doing that for somebody else.
No, and now that I am doing, starting BNV Media, the podcast production company, I don't have time for anyone else but myself. Like, it's been nuts, guys. I understand why people work 9 to 5s because trying to be an entrepreneur is fucking terrifying. Like, oh man, my poops are just...
I wasn't expecting that for some reason. I didn't know where that was going.
Liquid, guys.
Okay. I was gonna say it's usually one or the other. It's
I haven't had
either-
a solid poop in months.
So it's. Do you get diarrhea when you're
Should I
stressed?
check? Should I go to my doctor? Yeah, that's how my anxiety manifests. Thank you. Itself. It's like, and sweating. So it's like either I'm sweating or I'm pooping.
So you internalize anxiety.
Yeah, I don't express it. My body expresses it.
I
Whoa,
feel
we're
like
getting on the bottom of this.
I'm getting there too. I used to be very outwards and like, I'm anxious. Blah, blah. I'm getting to where you are, where
I don't know if that's a good thing.
It's
though.
a calm, like everything is fucked. I'm busy and I don't know what I'm doing. And it's like the dog in the burning house. Like the This Is Fine dog.
This is fine.
That's kind of us. And I like that about both of us because we're both trying to do this thing very much. And I should say, Mark's trying to do this thing. I'm very sidebar.
No, you're part of it.
I'm part of it, but it's...
You're one of the original... You're one of the OGs.
I know, but I'm not a part of it as much as I would want to be because of time constraints and work and like, I do want to keep Intoxicated going. It's going to be a challenge, but I do want to keep it going.
Right? Oh, do you want Intoxicated to be on the BNV Media website?
I mean, we'll have to talk about that.
Off the pod, folks.
But I probably, but
it's your baby. I understand.
Yeah.
Right?
It is my baby. And that's the kind of thing about it. It's this love-hate relationship of I go back and forth between... this fucking thing that's in my living room and this fucking studio and I don't have fun anymore. But then I get here and I have so much fun and I love pressing publish every week. Right. I love it. So it's this weird love-hate relationship where without it, I think I'd be unhappy. But with it, it's a challenge it's a challenge to manage your time when you have a full-time job. And now I have a full-time job that is very like, I mean, I'm working the full day.
Yes, you
There's
are.
no, which is great. I'm actually loving it, but it does mean that by the end of the day, I'm like, poof, like, okay, I got meetings. I gotta go edit. I gotta record. Like, there's no, for a lot of people, their days are like, okay, I'm done work. What's for dinner?
Right? Like, okay, I've got my sense of accomplishment. I got my 8 hours in.
What's
Now it's
for
time to
dinner?
unwind.
What's for lunch tomorrow? Like, I'm thinking about lunch an hour before it happens. That's about it.
I'm thinking about lunch an hour after lunch. Whoops.
But you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's tough.
It is tough. I mean, that's why, like I said,
And-
that's why people don't do
it.
this. Like, that's why we're in the minority as entrepreneurs, as self-starters. Like, my shout out to one of my good friends, Hannah Kovacs.
Hannah
I shouldn't say one of
Kovacs.
my good friends. One of my friends. Like, she just moved back from Toronto. I don't want to be like, we hang out all the time. She is an entrepreneur. We had her on Brand New View. And she just moved back to Halifax. And she started a high-intensity workout class out in Toronto. She was working for a tech company. And she was doing this on the side. And then it got very popular. So then she started Hit with Hannah. Ooh, very
Hit with
catchy.
Hannah, which I'm very curious about.
Right. So, and then it became her full-time job out there. And then the plan was originally, like, it was always to come back east because
Right.
she just was recently married. Her and her husband are both from out east. I'm not exactly sure. I feel like he might be from like New Brunswick. I don't know.
Okay,
I
but
don't
that's
wanna
still
get that wrong.
Maritimes.
Still Maritimes.
I get it though, because when people move away from the Maritimes, they always want to come back.
Right. So
Yeah.
Hannah, very awesome woman, like just a killer of a entrepreneur. She's opened up Move East now,
Yes.
which is a high intensity workout like building. She's got classes every day, a bunch of other stuff, and she's opening up on Quimple. Check it out. It's in the Keep, that building.
Yes.
Opening November 1st.
I'm definitely going to check it out because that's 100% the type of thing that I would be
Right,
wanting
but
to do.
she posted this today, and I want to read it out.
Ooh,
here.
yeah, read it.
Any entrepreneurs out there listening to this podcast,
Anyone who wants to start something or be their own boss.
anyone wants to start this is the behind the scenes, and like
Yes.
I try to suppress this. I try not to. It's like the dog in the fire. Like, it's fine. It's fine. But she
Right.
says, opening a business may look glamorous, and while there are many opportunities, no, that's just wrong. I can't read, folks.
We're both so tired.
I don't know how to read. Okay, let me start over.
We'll edit that.
Opening a business may look glamorous, and while there are many wonderful things about the journey, there are many emotions, thoughts, and anxieties we tend not to talk about openly. I posted lots of fun photos and videos throughout the process, but here's what you don't see. Constant anxiety, big expenses, risk, investment, hours of sweat equity. Preach, because I sweat
Wow.
all the time.
Sweat equity.
Loss of sleep, feeling inadequate, missing my friend's wedding, imposter syndrome, that's a big one, missing my friends, financial instability, delayed timelines, fear of failure, social isolation, loneliness, panic attacks, tears, forgetfulness, nerves about being a boss, revenue targets, managing cash flow, and feeling the gravity of a big undertaking. That is so much fucking pressure, folks.
Stuff.
But
yeah.
she follows that up with, let me be clear. I am not complaining. It is the greatest privilege to be doing what I'm doing. I've worked hard to make this happen and wouldn't trade it for the world. But some days these thoughts get me down. And guess what? That's just how it is. Not asking for sympathy, just wanting to share and keep it real. It's definitely not all sunshine and rainbows. Some days I just want to curl up and shut off my brain. I am human. For real, though.
Oh, ding, ding.
And she finishes it off with, I am living by the mantra, feel the fear and do it anyways.
Oh, I just got. I got. I got.
She's got the
goosebumps.
goose pimples.
Was that on her personal Instagram?
I don't say
or-
goose pimple, folks. Goosebumps. Like, it's only goosebumps.
Was that on her personal Instagram or her?
That was on her personal Instagram, which is Hit with Hannah. She also has Move East. Go check it out at move.east.
Interesting.
And sign up. Like,
I wanna
it's
sign
such a positive environment. She's awesome. Couple other friends that are also trainers. Zach McDonald, actually Ben, my former co-host, and I are good friends with him. And a couple other people I know as well.
Amazing.
So check it out if you're looking to get fit. Another plug.
Yes.
Move East.
What an inspiration, though.
Right?
Because honestly, the more I go on about life, the more I am like, I wish I could just be my own boss. I am known to get overwhelmed by all the things that come with that. And it's mostly money. Honestly, like, I would say 90% of my stress is money.
Oh, yeah.
Just knowing that I can pay my things.
My visa's fucked.
If I knew I could pay my things,
it'd be good.
I would just roll with it. But I would like to I should reach out to her to come on. Do you think she should come on here?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think so.
It's interesting. It's such a wild decision to make. And mind you, I feel like that the decision, it's not necessarily like okay, I'm going to be an entrepreneur now. It happens very gradually where it starts as a side hustle or like something you really love. And then, and you might have found this too. Like people will just start asking you, so you making money off it yet? Or
yeah, it's like no, talk to me in like 5 years.
The number one question, other than how many listeners do you have, that I get.
Well, people
is are you making money off of it, or could you make money off of it?
And I get that. Like people have every right to expect. Well, you're doing all this work. Like, why aren't you getting paid for it? Like I have a 9 to 5. I charge every minute I'm at work. Like, why wouldn't I? And I understand that. And I'm beginning to think a lot of people, like there's comfort in being told what to do.
There's a big time comfort in it. It's half the work.
Yeah.
Figuring out what to do and to delegate.
Right.
Like, I mean, how many times have we gotten together being like, okay, we're going to talk with this. And then we end up talking about X, Y, Z, Z.
Oh, well, every time. I'm the king of tangents.
And it's very hard sometimes, especially if you are on time constraints or if there's so much other things going on, to like be like, okay, what are our action items for right now? It's hard.
Like, I don't fucking know. What do you what do you mean action items? First of all, can you define that?
An action item.
But no, it's true because like, I mean, we're getting to a point where entrepreneurs, it's kind of like a hot topic. Like you look at NSCC, the Nova Scotia Community College, for all of our international listeners out there. Mm-hmm. There's a bit of a push to kind of get people to build their own foundation. And even at the universities at Dalhousie, there's the entrepreneurial classes and things like that. Mm-hmm. But it's still... It's a lonely world, like she says.
Yeah.
Like it's very tough to kind of just be like, okay, this is all on me. I have to create value. Like I go start a job, the value is already there.
They're like, we hired you for this. We think you can do this. We're paying you. We're paying you this.
Yeah, just
like
do
you are
it.
getting a wage for just coming into work and being there to do your job. So it's
Make
very
some calls. Here's the script, like, don't worry about it. We got you.
But when you're trying to create that value for yourself and you're trying to get other people to like it and catch on to it to a point where they can then be like, here's money to do it. It's hard. And it's hard not to take that personal when it doesn't work out.
Right? That's the thing. It's like that's another big thing is like you're gonna fail. Like you
100%.
think all of your ideas are gonna work. Like I always come back to sports analogies. Like you are no one, even professionals, they miss like quarterbacks. They don't complete every pass.
Right.
Goalies, they don't save every shot.
Very true.
But they're still professionals. They're still the best in the world.
Yes, comedians bomb all the time.
Comedians bomb. Every damn comedian you've ever seen, ever, has bombed.
Yeah, even the best of the best.
Even the best of the best.
And they've learned from that.
Even Adam Sandler, folks.
Yes. But speaking of sports, basketball is a sport.
Ooh, look what we did. We're getting better at them segues.
Hell
Look how fucking maxed out your volume went there.
If only we had ads that we could segue into, but we don't. We only have podcasts right now to segue into, which is just as good as that, if not better, because you can listen for free.
Right? So, like, quit complaining, guys.
Courtside Moms.
Yeah. So, as I mentioned before, we have our original network where we kind of have the creative design behind all those podcasts, but we also are in the business of creating podcasts for brands and companies, and we take their ideas, we work with them, and then we help them realize their dreams and podcasts.
Oh yeah, baby.
So Courtside Moms is a production created by Tidal League. Anyone not familiar with Title League, they were the people behind Jurassic Park 2.0 when the Raptors were in the finals against the Warriors.
My heart almost dropped there when you said, I think you meant Jurassic Park, the movie series.
They produced the new Jurassic Park. Yeah, we up in the big leagues now, folks. No, they
funny.
they put on the big event under the Nova Center, which
Wow.
was during the Raptors championship run. Massive crowds, thousands of people underneath there. The ground was shaking. I hope no one was underneath in the parking lot because it was apparently pretty scary. No big deal. No harm, no foul. And what they're doing now is they want to create this kind of media network, this media empire, eventually, of all sports. And they're starting with basketball because that's what they know the best. And Courtside Moms is what are you laughing at over there?
We did go live on Facebook.
Oh my God. I told you to check it.
So Andrew Vaughn said, I see how it is bringing people on to shit talk wallet chains, huh? Oh my God, that's so funny.
No.
Hang on, I'm
Delete it.
I am.
Delete it.
So funny. Oh my God. My mom liked it.
Get it off of there.
I don't know what we talked about. That's so fucking
I hope
funny.
there's no Long and McQuade employees on the Intoxicated Facebook page.
I'm dying. I'm sorry.
Shit.
I don't know what was.
I'm gonna go in.
It was just my personal Facebook though. Just
Okay.
BT Dubs. It wasn't the Intoxicated.
That's probably worse. You probably have more fans on your Facebook page.
I have more like real people.
Only robots listen to Intoxicated.
No, but you know when like podcasts will follow other podcasts, like just to follow them.
Yeah.
I have a lot of that on Intoxicated.
Yeah.
Whereas like my personal stuff is more like more people that I know.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, sorry.
So
to
yeah,
interrupt
we
that.
went live there for a bit because Sarah pressed
such an
start streaming
idiot.
instead of start recording
What
because
did
she's blind.
What did we didn't say anything crazy bad.
Nope.
I just privated the video, so we'll go back and watch.
Okay. All
make sure,
that I said is that I'm going to Orlando with some equipment.
38 views. That's not that it could have been worse, to be honest.
Okay, we're fucked.
Can you imagine if we looked at that and it was like 100 or something?
Well, then we'd be like, hey, we got some fucking viewership.
Where are those 38 views on the live streams?
Yeah. Where were you guys on Canada Day, you fuckers? Anyways, okay.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
We digress. Fuck.
I'm sorry, I'm dying.
I'm going to return that equipment to Long and McQuade next week and then be like, so where the fuck were you?
It's fine. We'll be fine.
It's fine. So yeah, Courtside Moms. Title League. That's their first production. Very cool idea. It's hosted by Wendy Sparks. She's from Montreal.
Great last name.
Sweetest woman.
Aw.
Coolest woman I've ever met.
Oh, amazing.
I know. Great name, right? Wendy Sparks.
Yeah, it's very like she should have a talk show.
She should, and hopefully she will eventually. I mean, this is kind of a talk.
It kind of is, yeah.
It's the future of talk shows. But she's from Montreal, and her son plays for the Orlando Magic. And for your non-sport fan listeners, that's a professional basketball team in Orlando, obviously.
Orlando.
And her son, Kem Birch, also plays for the Canadian national basketball team. Haven't met him. Apparently he's a really good guy. And I would assume nothing less because Wendy is the bee's knees.
Bee's knees.
So she's the host, and she's interviewing other moms who have sons or daughters that play professional basketball.
Pretty awesome.
So very cool. We've done 2 episodes so far. First episode was Edith Bennett. Her son Anthony Bennett was drafted number 1 overall by the Cleveland Cavaliers 7 years ago. He unfortunately just suffered a knee injury, so he was cut by the Houston Rockets, but that's a bit of a soft spot. What can you do?
Yeah.
The journey continues.
It's all a part of the journey.
Yep. And episode 2 was Lisa Washington, who is a badass boss.
Damn. I was going to say bitch.
No, it crossed my mind. I was like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, you were.
She's a badass boss woman. She's from Toronto, and her daughter played professionally over in Europe, and her son plays in college in the States. But she is the first female Canadian NBA, WNBA player agent.
Oh, damn. Okay.
So she represents players in the NBA, and she's going to be representing WNBA players as well. Very cool.
Very, very cool.
So that's been a lot of fun.
And you guys have been kind of documenting the recording process.
So
on
yeah,
Instagram,
there's a
which is-
videographer as well. So it's on YouTube as well if you want to check it out.
Ooh, I'll have to check
And the CEO of Title Legal, give him a shout out, Kurt Benson.
Nice.
He very cool dude. This is kind of his vision, and he's sunk a lot of money into it. So we're gonna fucking realize this vision.
Yes.
And we are heading down to Orlando in
tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, we're recording this at 7:30. Our flight's at 5 a.m. It's like whatever. I don't need to sleep. And we're heading down to Orlando for the season opener against the Cavaliers, and we're going to be recording an episode on the logo on the court, the basketball court in the arena.
So cool.
So pretty fucking nervous right now, folks.
And I gotta say, like,
but excited.
a lot of this and a lot of the people that you've gotten for, to be clients are because you went out and you've done the work and you've done the networking and you've made these relationships, and they have faith in you and they know that you can deliver. I know it's nerve-wracking as shit. But there's something to be said for that, having that like relationship where they know that you're somewhat new to this.
I'm new. Look at I'm picking my ass on YouTube.
Very
Jesus.
nice. God. I love how this whole episode is like, we're a podcast production company. Oh, look at all these things we've done wrong. But I mean, that said, like, it's really cool that you get to dip your toe into a bunch of different kinds of podcasts. Cause like you've done interview
experiences
style.
happening before our very eyes.
Yeah. You're building your resume.
And let me say, folks, if you're wondering how this opportunity kind of came about, Anchor, who hosts Safety Off Podcast, is friends with Kurt. And I had Anchor also on Brand New View as a guest.
Right.
And he messaged me and was like, hey, Title League wants to produce this podcast called Courtside Mom. They need a podcast production company to do it for them. Would you be interested? I'll set up in a meeting. And
bam.
There you go. Bob's your uncle.
So this is what it is. When you do have a podcast that relies on guests, it actually forces you to create networks in a weird way. And so if you see someone who you're like, I think they'd be cool to get on, and then you get them on, you develop a bond. They then have you in mind going forward as, dare I say, an expert or maybe not expert, but
yeah, let's go with expert, professional.
we're not expert.
Okay, what happened to the top of this?
What do you mean? What happened?
Feel it. It's sticky.
Oh, I don't know.
It's probably just beer.
Yeah, no idea. It just went from the bag to my fridge. So. Does it taste like beer?
Yeah, it's good. We're like,
Mark's on his second.
This episode's brought to you by BNV Media.
Oh my god! Well, it kind of is.
It sort of is.
Yeah, this is like brought to you by BNV Media. And so, Mark,
paid in part.
Question for you: what are you looking for when you're talking about the network and the people who you want to mark, you want to brand as the BNV production? What are you looking for in a podcast? You're pretty open to different kinds of podcasts.
Yeah, I think.
But what are you looking for when someone's like, I want my podcast to be on BNV?
I'm looking for passionate people that I know I can count on that aren't going to be, 2 or 3 months down the road. I don't want to do this anymore. Like, this is too tough. Like, I can't make this work with my schedule. Like,
serious.
We're in this for the long haul, folks. I can't go back to my 9 to 5. I lasted 3 weeks. 3 weeks. And it took me 10 years to get a degree. So clearly, I don't want to be doing shit for other people. Stared at the audience for that one.
You really did. But so you're looking for people who can commit long term.
And obviously, it's got to be like a good idea. Like, I want some sort of organization.
Right.
I don't want people to be coming up like, we're going to talk about the Barney show.
Right.
How's that? I'm a big kid. No, that's Huggies. This just took a weird turn, folks. I love you. You love me. I bet you there is a podcast about
song?
Barney.
What's the rest of that song?
You are such a fucking...
No, it's like we're something as can be. What is that song?
Let's see. All right.
Is that the Barney song?
I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna pull it up on YouTube.
Research break. It's a research break.
But yeah, just to fill in with Courtside Moms going down to Orlando tomorrow. It's gonna be amazing. We're gonna be filming on the court with Aaron Gordon's mom, who also plays for the Magic, and Aaron Gordon's aunt, who is his agent and representation. Right. So it's
exciting.
It's really exciting. Like I'm kind of part of me, and I think if you folks, if you recall what I wrote, I didn't write it. I read it, but Hannah's little excerpt there with the imposter syndrome. That's a massive thing.
What is imposter syndrome?
So imposter syndrome is when you think you don't deserve what you're getting. Like you're like, for example, well, I can give you an example right now. Like I am going to Orlando tomorrow to produce a podcast, and part of me is like, you don't deserve this. Like you've done, what have you even done? Like, what do you mean you're going to Orlando? Like you're not professional.
You've done a
like
lot,
you didn't
though.
go to school for this. Hey, thanks. Yeah, appreciate it.
But that's the thing. You've done a lot of different things. I like to think of it as,
well, I do have I
Jack
have
of
a
all
marketing
trades.
degree. Like I do have a degree here, folks. So I whatever.
But not only that, but you have experience with podcasts.
What was that?
Oh god, that's scary. Family.
That's terrifying.
Turn it off.
What the hell is that thing? Why do its legs go up to its fucking stomach? All right.
Nightmare fuel.
Woo!
But back to imposter syndrome. That's
Yeah.
an interesting thing because I feel the same way a lot of the time. And I don't know if it's because like a lot of people look to me about podcast stuff too. And a lot of times I'm like, I don't really feel like I'm an expert sometimes because this is a casual conversational podcast where there's minimal editing, and I've never done something more than that yet. Whereas you've done a bunch of podcasts. You've been there in the recording process of a lot of podcasts. You've edited, so I think you got to give yourself more credit, but I also totally understand where that comes from. But I think anyone who does something, and it doesn't matter what it is, for any length of time, any significant length of time, should be considered somewhat of an expert in that field.
I mean, as long as you're like semi-intelligent,
just
you
on the
can
basis
carry a conversation.
Well, just on the basis that you've done it for so long, and
yeah, we're coming up. You know what? It's been over a year since I started. We didn't launch Brand New View till December, but it was over a year since we started prepping for it.
And now you're doing how many? So you're working on how many podcasts right now? Because it's kind of different roles in each one. But
well, since Brand New View's on hiatus, I won't count that, but 5.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
We have Safety Off, What You Make It, Courtside Moms, False 9, and Recording for Lather, Rinse, Repeat. So
right. Yeah. So how do you manage all of this? I mean, obviously you said earlier that you have a flexible job and you work evenings. So that's good. So you have your whole day. But even still, we all know people who work nights probably need to sleep.
I work in the day too.
Later.
I serve a bit. I mean, I don't want to be like, I don't manage it, folks. I don't know why you'd ever want to work with me. But I've always just...
That's like the whole point of this episode.
I know, right? I'm a psycho.
This won't be in the sales deck.
No, but I think more than anything, I'm just... I don't know. I'm able to kind of remain calm and just
Yeah.
get shit done.
I actually totally think that about you. I don't see, like, when you say that you're anxious, I was telling you earlier, like, I don't see that.
You should see my pits right now.
I know that you say it's poop and sweat. Oh, you can't see anything. You're fine.
Because the shirt I'm wearing, I'm a professional now. Come on.
But it's just
think I'd be
interesting
wearing
to me.
gray? Not a chance.
Because you don't seem, that's a really good skill to have. To, like, have that, like, level head.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Someone who can stay calm and just, like, do you ever get panic attacks?
No.
No?
I've been on the verge of, like, I don't want to say on the verge of, because I don't really know, I guess, but like 2 interviews I've had, like 2 job interviews, I've started like dripping sweat and just like, you know, the butterflies, just like overload of butterflies, but I'm able to just take control of it.
Interesting.
So I've never had a panic attack, and I'll tell you right now, that's not out of the norm at all for entrepreneurs, what I've learned.
Because they're used to the chaos. It's almost like a desensitized.
Yeah. But no, not yet.
It's interesting because that could have happened to me today. I had kind of a chaotic morning at work.
Yeah.
And it's like,
what is a panic? It's just like,
yeah. I mean, I think it's different for everybody, but like, yeah, a lot of hyperventilating and shutting down, and yeah, it can be different for everyone. For me, it's very much so I need to just get away from people and breathe for a second.
Yeah. Like I've had that where it's like, I'm sweating profusely and it's not that hot in here. It's not that hot. It feels like it's 80,000 degrees, but everyone else is wearing a lot of clothing and they seem to be okay.
You should go on, there's a certain drug that it might be Viagra.
I ain't going on drugs.
Well, I think that there's
the only
like
drug I use is marijuana.
There's some
just kidding.
There's some sort of drug that actually helps sweating.
What for reals? Oh, Drysol?
No, it's
use
like
that shit.
It's
Dabble,
like
do ya?
Botox.
Okay, that's not a drug.
Yeah. Well, it's an injection.
Yeah, but it's
a chemical. It's a chemical. Would that be the right?
Doesn't it just like it makes your pores smaller?
Is it a drug?
Hey, here
Hang on. Let's look this up. Are you sure it's not a drug?
I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. But at the end of the day, if I'm gonna put Botox in my pits, then my body's gonna be like, oh, you thought that's the only place we could sweat from,
right? Oh,
welcome to your forehead and welcome to your chode.
Botox.
Good job. Hope you like that fucking circle of sweat on your pants that everyone can see from the back.
What kind of drug is Botox? Okay, it's not really giving me a straight answer.
Because it's not a drug.
Okay, well, fair.
It's like plastic surgery, essentially.
I would totally get it if I had
Botox, which is interesting because you put Botox in your face and it's like, Kylie Jenner. But Botox in your pits.
No, not
and
necessarily.
You're like,
if I get
sweat.
Well, if I have one deep wrinkle on my forehead, that's where I would want to get it.
Ooh, yeah, folks, you can't see it because I'm washed out right now. But I have, if anyone watches hockey, I have the Jerome McGinley line on my forehead.
Is it straight across?
Yeah.
What does that mean? Like, how do you get that? And why is that
what
a
does
hockey?
it mean? You're the one who follows fucking birthstones or whatever.
Okay. So I have an important question for you. This is where it's going to get funny. Do you know your birth time?
Yeah, 10:15 at night.
Really? It was 10:15 on the dot?
Yeah.
Are you?
Oh, what, like 10:12?
Yeah,
like,
no, I mean your
don't
exact
know.
birth time.
My parents always told me 10:15.
Okay. I'm going to just look up what
It was a Monday in 1989, March 13th, 2 days early.
March 15th.
I had a hole in my heart. The doctor said we might have a problem. We got to send this kid for more tests. That almost became the Will Smith Prince of Bel-Air.
Marc
Prince of
Boudreau.
Bel-Air.
I'm going to calculate your birth chart here. You are a he, not a she or a they. Right?
True.
Just checking, because I should check.
My name is Mark, and my pronouns are he and him.
He and bitch.
Yeah, bitch.
Okay, date. You said March 15th?
13th.
March 13th.
2 days early. I was
you
supposed
share
to
a
be March
birthday with my
15th.
best friend, Danielle.
Shout out Danielle.
Shout out Danielle.
How many dudes did she kiss?
I don't know. I don't think. Maybe not.
Bagels.
What's the bagels thing?
0.
Oh, fuck you!
A bagel is a 0.
Fuck you. You said 10-15, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna see what your rising sign is. So you are a Pisces.
I know.
That is your sun.
I definitely know that. And
That
like,
is your sun sign.
folks, let's be real here. I mean, everyone has checked that part of the paper growing up for their fucking whatever. What's it called? Horoscope? That's it.
Yes. Horoscope, astrological sign.
And
Yeah.
it's like, oh yeah, that reconfirms my thoughts.
Where were you born? What
Halifax. At the Grace.
Halifax.
Oh wow, they even incorporate cities now. This is a whole fucking business. Holy shit.
Yeah, no, it's a whole thing. I don't know if this will even give me Nova Scotia on my phone. Let's see here. Halifax.
It's been an hour and 10 minutes already.
Yeah, time flies, man. You don't remember this?
No, I know, but like, I thought it was gonna, whatever. This is gonna be a 2-hour episode, folks.
Potentially.
Okay, I want to do this with a C.
How do I?
MARC, and then AU, and then do it with a K, and see if we get different results.
Wait, AU?
Yeah, REAU.
R-E.
Sorry, folks. Stay
you.
with us. We're gonna get some results.
This is the joy of editing. 10, 15.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough edit for a girl right here.
I know, right? So much work.
Definitely edit that out. That was kind of racist, maybe. I don't know.
That was. What? Why is this being such a bitch?
New squoits. No, that's not it either.
Fuck me.
I
I can't see anything. Okay, I'm just going to see if that works.
Unreal.
Here we go. So I'm just going to look at your rising sign because I don't know. Your rising sign is what, I guess, your outwards persona. So like what you put out to the world.
But like, if
is
you
what your
buy into
rising
this,
sign.
you're really like giving up a lot of autonomy.
What do you mean?
Like, this is what I mean about people who like to be told what to do. They also like to be told what they are.
Oh, that's deep.
Yeah, that's right. I'm here all night, folks.
Okay,
You've reached Cleo.
This is interesting. You are a Gemini rising. Oh man, Geminis are, I guess, known as one of the worst signs of the zodiac because they're known to be two-faced.
Well, that's interesting because Gemini man fucking sucked apparently.
Oh.
Will Smith, no one wants to see you twice. Like, you fucking jumped the shark. You're too into yourself now, man. Come on.
So you are curious about the people around you.
For sure.
Let's see what else it says here.
Sounds similar to Sagittarius rising? I have no idea.
Gemini is mostly interested in moving about in their social circles. These are people who love to ask questions. Ooh, podcaster! My fuck buddy's a Gemini. He likes to say things like, is it in?
Hey.
Literally said that to me the other day, and I literally stopped and went, what did you just say?
Like, what are you, McLovin? Like, actually. Okay, wait. Mostly interested in moving about in their social circles.
Mm-hmm.
Social circles? Totally. I'm all over the place. I have many different, I'm all over the place. I don't have like a best friend. I mean, I kind of do. Like Sean Harris, showed up my guy.
Right.
We've known each other our whole lives, but I have many different friend groups.
Yeah, you do. Definitely restless and often quick in physical expression. Natives of the Gemini ascendant, that's like rising, exude
What?
an air of impatience even if they don't mean it.
I mean, they can't get it all right, right?
There's a cleverness to Gemini risings that can intimidate some, especially sensitive folk.
Get the fuck out of here. I'm sick of all this fucking triggered bullshit. God damn.
There are faculty. Is that faculty?
Sorry, I lost our
Facility?
place.
Faculty?
Facility.
With
Shout out
words
cable guy.
can be a wonderful asset Although sometimes Gemini rising individuals identify too much with their mental agility and forget in their personal interactions and communications to nurture people around them. I wouldn't agree with that. I think you're pretty nurturing.
I'm trying to be.
That's an interesting
Pick something off your chair.
thing about that. A certain lack of warmth in presentation.
All wrong. All wrong. See, folks, it's a fucking facade, which is the next word you're about to read. It's not really a facade. It's a fucking scam. That's what I meant to say.
That is so interesting. Actually, one
Brought to
second
you by
here.
Nike.
Second
Right
house, the area of mature. Okay. So your Gemini rising is in the second house, which means...
What is this, Harry Potter?
Yeah, there's houses too. So not only do you have multiple planets in your birth chart that signs get assigned to you.
Who the fuck came up
look,
with all this shit?
This is your birth chart. So
That is so long.
So, like, see here? So, like, here are your different... So, your sun is Pisces. That's your main one. You are... Or your Mercury and your Venus is in Pisces. You got a lot of Pisces placements. So, that's pretty Pisces dominant. Capricorn. Got lots of Capricorn in there. And Gemini.
Uranus.
Interesting. So, Mars
What
and
is
Gemini.
Lilith? Is that the person who made all this? A Lilith would fucking come up with all this shit.
Let's look up the Lilith part, because I'm curious about that too, because I don't really know much about that.
Oh, shout out to Yana, our new kind of like she's taking pictures for some of our recordings. She's so mad at me for doing this. I don't give a fuck. She's like I work with her. She's a server. She's also nursing a Dow, but she wants to maybe not wants. I shouldn't put words into her mouth, but she takes photos and takes great photos, and I'm like,
fuck yeah,
fucking do it. I know you hate what you're doing right now.
Tons of podcasts, I'm sure, that could benefit from a
Right?
photographer.
So I was like,
wink, 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 nudge,
like
nudge.
us and Intoxicated. So she came and last night and took photos of the false nine.
Oh, that's awesome. I would love to have a photographer.
She
I would
just sent them.
honestly, there's a couple things I would want for Intoxicated. A photographer, a designated driver to get my guests here and back
True.
safely.
Well, we're gonna have an Uber real soon. Like, that's a great photo.
Oh, that's fantastic. Good for her. Okay, I got to read about your Lilith. So this is interesting. Lilith
Ooh, I like that.
represents our darker, deeper natures that may be repressed or buried. So your Lilith is in Libra, which means that it says, I love how it addresses you directly. He may have felt uncomfortable or wrong for needing companionship or seeking approval from others, or he may feel that dependency and compromise are weak and not right. This can lead to periods of intense neediness followed by independence.
What? Did that just happen to me?
Accepting that we all need to lean on others from time to time can help resolve problems with extreme behaviors in relationships. Oh, shit.
Okay, listen.
This got
who
real.
Cares? Who cares? You're laughing. You're like, oh, vindicated. Like, maybe the human experience isn't as fucking unique as we think it is. I think that's what we can take from this.
Do you see any truth in that, though?
Of course, but I see truth in that for a lot of people.
Yeah, that's actually, you make a good point about astrology. It's very vague and can be applied to pretty much anything.
It's fun to get confirmation.
It is.
Because then you get rid of the imposter syndrome.
Right. How do we get rid of... That's actually a really good question. How do we get rid of the imposter syndrome?
I don't know if you do. Checks in the bank account.
We'll start getting paid regularly.
It's tough though. I mean, I think it just comes with time because there's so much that comes with running your own business. I mean, I just think of myself as a people person and kind of maybe can create some synergy. I don't know shit about accounting. Shout out Jess.
But I mean, that's
our accountant.
Something that we're doing. Like, we're kind of reaching out to people who we know knows more about the things that we don't know.
And we're producing their podcasts. hey. That's how you do things. You subsidize it, bitch.
In kind exchange. Which is
perfect. Quid pro quo is what they would say.
Which is good, because I think it's important for someone it's important to recognize what you can't do and find people who can do it. And maybe learn from them or just have them do it.
100%. I'll give a shout out to Dave Culligan, who
Yes.
posted on LinkedIn recently,
Oh, what did he post?
saying like one of the things I would have changed, because Dave Culligan, for all you people that aren't familiar, he started a media company called 365 Media.
365, yeah.
Very, he did like he vlogged for a whole year every day.
I loved
365
that.
days.
Yeah, that was so cool to see.
So it was really cool. And then he started his own business. Now he's doing branded content for massive companies like Puma and Ford. And
Madness.
he posted on LinkedIn the other week, and he was like, one of the first things I would have done if I could start over is hiring experts in fields like accounting and financing and photography, or not photography because he's a photographer, but all that other shit.
All the things that he maybe wasn't as strong.
Wasn't an expert with, because you really do, like for Jess, our accountant, she may know something and can just fucking fill in something that would take me a week to figure out.
Right.
So it's like you just have to, you got to understand where you can do it and where you need to pass
That's
the buck.
such an important thing.
Massive.
Yeah, because we're creative types. So
Right? It's like
we don't
get that. I have no idea how I passed accounting. No idea. And not because I'm dumb, folks. No, an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
But I just had zero interest. That was my problem growing up the entire time. Like if I didn't care about it, didn't do it.
I was gonna say, one challenge that I'm finding, because I'm kind of, so I got this job, I'm doing stuff with BNV, and I'm also doing all these like little side jobs with other companies kind of wanting to hire me for casual side jobs. And one thing that I'm facing now that I've never faced before, which is like, how much do you charge for yourself?
That's a
That
tough one.
is
Creating your own rates.
a very hard thing to come to terms with, because I kind of realized I did 2 jobs and I kind of overcharged for one and I undercharged for another. And it was an interesting
We've all been
learning
there.
experience for me.
We've all been there. Didn't you just incorporate yourself?
No, I haven't done that yet.
Okay, you can cut that then.
Should I?
Now you have
Should
to.
I do that? Like, I don't even, like, that's the thing. I just don't know.
I don't know either, but yes, BNV Media will be incorporating
BNV, yes. But I
Very
mean,
soon,
I mean,
folks.
Sarah McClellan doing event coordination. Not
We
so
can
much
make
podcast.
that part of BNV.
We could. I mean, there's probably ways around
That's
it.
part of marketing and promotion.
I love how we just get into business stuff. This is what
Like,
happens when we
let's
get
go,
together.
Let's go.
It's exciting times though. It's busy times. But it's really cool to be a part of this. And
It's fun. Like if you're out there at your 9 to 5 right now and you're listening to a podcast because you really don't want to be doing the work you're doing, listen. It's going to be super scary to go out on your own, because I know everyone out there who doesn't want to be at their 9 to 5 has thought about what they could do instead of their 9 to 5.
yes, it's so true.
And it's going to be way fucking scary to do it. But you're deep down, you're gonna that feeling that you have right now is gonna go away because you're doing what you want to do with your life. And I feel so many fucking people live their life like they get a second chance afterwards. Like they die and they're like, okay, you didn't do what you wanted to do. Let's just restart around like, I don't know, 16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
And then, you know, do your thing, like be an entrepreneur, be whatever you want to be.
yeah.
But that's not the case. We have one chance. And I might sound like an asshole saying this, but like you just fucking take it.
You know what I was thinking about today? And it's kind of in regards to the election. It kind of got me thinking.
Yeah.
We're kind of living in a culture of good enough right now. Meaning, and I find it, I mean, on a broader scale, politics, but also...
Definitely. It's like Trudeau. Yeah.
Yeah, good enough.
Sure.
But not the conservatives,
I
right?
guess.
So good. And I find that with taking on new jobs or transitioning into a new career, like a lot of people around you will say things like, well, it's better than the one that you hated. So, and I just have a real kind of problem with that, because I feel like I can say a lot of good things about what I'm doing right now, but I can tell you that event logistics is not what I want to do long term. Event planning is very stressful.
Well, no, you want to run a fucking media empire with your boy.
I do. And I love podcasting truly. This is so cheesy. I feel like it truly saved my life in a way, because I was in such a dark place. And when I started listening to podcasts, I felt less alone. And then when I started mine, it's brought me so much value and joy. So I'm so in love with it. But it is tricky when you can't just, it's not like I can just apply for a job on Career Beacon to be a podcaster and get, you know what I mean? Like we have to start these
it's
things
brand new.
ourselves, and it's a lot of work.
Which is kind of good
and
in a lot of senses.
It's good. And it's not full-time yet. And obviously I'd love for it to be full-time. I'd love to say I quit and this is what I'm doing full-time. But it is frustrating when you're in that stage of being kind of, you're still taking steps. You're not there yet. You're still taking the whatchamacallit, the lily pads, like the jumping.
It's true. Well, I
jumping
think
stones or whatever.
I was talking to our accountant and also host of Lather Rinse
Yeah.
Repeat, Jess, today, and I was like, it feels like there's so many little things you have to do. So you feel like you don't feel like it. You're constantly busy. There's always something to do.
Yeah.
And you feel like you're gaining momentum and you, at the end of the week, you're like, well, like I should be here now. But like,
Why
it's
am I
kinda
still
like,
stuck? Yeah.
It's kind of, I refer to it like a clock, I guess. Like you look at a clock and it doesn't look like anything's moving except for the second hand, of course. Shut the fuck up, folks. But if you don't look at the clock and you go on about your day, it's like, holy shit, so much is happening. And then time flies by and you're like, well, I should look back at the clock and so much should have gone by and not necessarily, and not really. It's like, a few hours, whatever. But it felt like so much happened in those few hours. So you expect the entire organism to move as fast as the intricate parts inside of it. But everything in here, it's like gears moving really quickly. But the whole thing is moving like that. Yeah. And that's tough because you feel like you've accomplished so much because you've been doing so much. But it's the long game.
It's the long game, and you're 100% right. And I think you're in a similar spot right now. I feel like I'm throwing myself into work to avoid feeling depressed and sad, and like there's some emotional things going on that I think that if I was home with nothing to do, sitting with it, it would be very dark and not nice. Where if I'm busy, I may be stressed and tired,
but you got something to do.
But I'm not thinking about that other thing.
That's fair.
I
can't do that.
I'm not sad. What do you mean you can't like throw yourself into
work? I can't
work?
bury myself in work unless it's something I want to be doing.
Oh yeah, and all the things I'm doing right now I want to do.
Okay.
But I guess what I mean is like rather than saying, oh, like no, like maybe it's too much, I'm saying yes.
Okay. All right. You're like, bring it on, baby. Everything.
And because I'm also seeing the big picture in the sense of like, this is building bricks time. Do I miss hanging out, shooting the shit with friends, having fun, having drunk nights? Like, do I miss that? Yes. But right now, I'm building for years from now when I can say that I'm working for BNV or I am working for myself. So it's
you mean working for BNV.
We're laying bricks.
Media empire. Let's go. Here.
But you know what I mean? It's a brick laying process.
That's another good way to put it. Like we're laying bricks, and it's like
it's gonna take forever for the wall.
Very small. You can only put one brick in at a time.
Yeah, but I think like something.
I don't build buildings. Maybe you can do like this side's putting bricks up. Anyways,
I also recognize that there are certain things. Like for me, it's debt. Like I want to pay down my debt because I would rather pay down the debt and then help you out with investing money into this because you're putting a lot of your own money into this thing.
I'm so
That's
broke, guys.
one thing that I need to mention.
Any rich people listening to Intoxicated, if you want to,
rich people listening to Intoxicated,
if you want to bet on something, bet on us.
Investors out there.
We need some
who
investors,
have some extra money,
but you're not going to get any fucking.
Anything
no equity. Investors, zero equity.
But you will see some bitchin' podcasts and some
Damn
high
right.
quality equipment.
We'll pay you back, but like you're not owning shit. Sorry.
Yeah. This is new to both of us. We're both trying our best. I just think that like it's better to do what you love. I would love to get paid to do what I love.
Absolutely.
And I mean, my dream is to have a studio. Like that's both of our dreams.
Yeah. We're gonna have a 3-floor studio. I'd rather struggle like this.
Yeah.
For however many years it takes, as opposed to having a steady 9 to 5
and never doing
having a roof over my I have a roof. I'm not homeless, folks, but having like a nice home that I can go home to, and I have my meals because I can afford like all the groceries that I want. Like, fuck no, that sounds worse to me. And I know for a lot of people and for the majority of people, like that's what life is. That makes sense. Like, why wouldn't I want that? But for me, it's like, no, that sounds like a routine, and it sounds like the same fucking thing that a billion other people are doing.
You're 2 years younger than me. What do you like with your friend group?
30 folks.
Oh,
What up?
shut up. With your friend group who are in that stage, in the 9 to 5 dinner, 9 to 5 dinner stage, are they fun to talk to at parties anymore? Be honest. We're an hour 28 in.
You're assuming they're at the parties.
Oh shit. But you know what I mean? I feel like at this point in life it's very strange because I'm finding that I can't relate to my friends anymore.
Well, people are starting to settle down because like that's what society tells you to do. And I don't want to seem like an asshole here, folks, but
no,
like
I love this. What?
Don't just because society right now in 2019, our Lord's year. No, I'm just joking. I'm not fucking religious. But in 2019, based on whatever Jesus or whatever it is, could be like a different year depending on where you're listening to this in the entire world. Mm-hmm. We assume like we have it all figured out. And that's okay. A lot of people are like, I'm comfortable. I'm good. We have a free society over here in North America. I can do my thing and buy my shit and whatever. But like, no, like there's so much more to this entire fucking everything. Like,
but you know what? Here's the thing. I agree with you, but I also think that it's also okay to want those other things.
Of course. And hey,
there's a lot of people.
Whoa, Sarah. You were pumping me up there. So I was like, fuck those people. No.
But
they're great.
See, here's the thing. It's a conscious effort for me to not be that way because that has caused problems in my friendships.
Yeah. And no. And
So,
I'm not saying
yeah.
I would say the majority of my friends have regular jobs. Like, well, not regular. I mean,
stable.
They're like, I have a lot of like my friends are really fucking successful. It's kind of ridiculous. Like, there's a couple doctors. There's a fucking trainer for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Like,
Jesus Christ.
They're doing well for themselves, but it's still like a relatively normal job. It's not out of the ordinary. It's not unorthodox, and they're great. Like, we're all on good terms, and they respect what I do, and I respect what they do.
Right.
But
yeah,
there's just so much more to life, guys.
There's a lot more to life, and not everyone's path is linear, and mine is more like a scatter graph.
It kind of looks like your heartbeat.
Mine is all over the place.
Not like a dead person, because that's not going anywhere. But it's like, actually, it kind of looks like that. It
kind of looks the waveforms.
Oh, there we are, folks.
I had a friend who told me today that like she's like, I'll be home for Christmas. We should get together. And I literally felt like saying like, you're gonna have to remind me when you're here, because right now I see, and I won't lie, because things are so up in the air with my actual job and like where I'm getting income, I see maybe 3 weeks ahead, and that's it. I don't even know what's happening come Christmas. Right. I don't know anything. It is so stressful. At the same time, ridiculously exciting. I think I could see it as I'm going to try to choose to see it as exciting, but it's really easy to go to stress, because you're right. There is comfort in knowing, okay, I have a job. I have income for whenever I want it. I can just leave that job whenever, but I have it if I want it.
Yeah.
And when you don't have that, it's stressful.
Yeah, 100%. And I should, everyone's going to hate me now, but I'm very lucky to have a family, and I'm an only child. My parents are fantastic. Like, they are there to support me. Now, not like I'm applying for grants and things like that. I'm not being like, can you have $5,000, Daddy? But they're not going to let me they're not going to let me die.
They're going to make sure you have a roof over your head and that you have food. Like, and that's the thing. I feel like for me, if my parents were in the city, I would consider that right now too.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, you gotta spend money to make money.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something not a lot of people think about, especially with creative endeavors that are kind of made for entertainment. Everyone thinks that we just do this thing. It's fucking pricey. If you want to up quality and if you want to make it a business, like what you're trying to do, it costs money to run multiple podcasts and have multiple people working on multiple podcasts. We need new equipment. We need computer machines. We need space. We need
everything.
We need everything. We need stuff to be able to be mobile. We need,
and
it's just,
time
it's ridiculous.
is money. That's the biggest thing. Like we are giving up, like I'm spending probably a full-time job a week
absolutely
on podcasting. So it's like I could be making money with a regular job, but I'm choosing not to.
No.
So like I recognize the privilege that I have with my parents and allowing me to kind of go and chase my dreams. And shout out Jimbo and Momo. They're the fucking greatest.
That's so awesome. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, do you think, an honest question, if they weren't here and you couldn't live at home?
Oh, I would already be a millionaire. I would have already realized my dreams because it took them a while to allow me to be who I wanted to be. And I know that sounds like a terrible thing to say, but they kind of pushed me in that, and I shouldn't say they, it was my father.
Yeah.
Love you, Jimmy. He was like, you want to get a good stable job, like you want to be a doctor, and he was like, go to university, get your degree, blah blah blah. I think I would have just right away been like, I don't want to do this, I want to do my own thing. And I know that sounds kind of pompous and like, well, how would you have, like, you don't have any money, you would have been homeless. And maybe I would have been, but I still would have been like, I'm a creative, I'm gonna fucking do this.
Yeah, it's like almost like an extra gene. I feel like there's creative people who don't have that gene to, like, I hate using the word hustle because it's such a fucking buzzword, but
hustle, loyalty, respect.
I want to bring grind back. I like that kind of better. Grind.
Ooh, the grind.
Grind.
I was like, grind what? Like Tony Hawk's grind? Like grinder? Like.
But it is a
Speaking of, I went to Reflections the other day. That was something. Yeah, you're like, what? I was
the new Reflections sucks.
Oh well, I don't know.
You've never
the first time I've ever been to any Reflections, but
interesting.
I what was it, Friday night? I had a meeting at 6 that went really late till 9, and we had a couple beers. So I was like, I'll go say hi to my friends at
was this
Auction House.
Podcast meeting?
Entrepreneur meeting.
Okay.
Shout out Brett Evans. You're a goddamn beauty. I love you. He created the Doob tool. Any of you smokers out there, check it out.
Is that an app?
At Doob tool.
Is that an app for smoking?
It's an outdoor smoke, like weed accessory helper. Like if you're into it being an adventurer and you also smoke weed, check out at Doob tool on Instagram. So we had a long meeting. We had a couple beers, and I was like, I'll go down to and smoked a joint, obviously.
Ding ding, it's legal here.
Hey, let's go.
I actually have an odd amount of U.S. listeners, so. Yeah.
Oh, what up, guys? You'll get there soon, unless you're listening in Colorado, California, Maryland, Connecticut. I don't even know the other places. And so I was like, I'll go say hi to my my good old server friends down at the auction house, and we had another beer down there. And then Paige, you piece of shit, came in, one of the other servers, drunk, and was like, "Let's go dancing, let's do it." And I enjoy dancing. I enjoy moving my body. It's a good time. Natalie, we call her Natalie though, the bartender, put on that dance music, and all of a sudden we were in a groove. And Paige was like, I was like,
talking like your friend. I don't even know where you live. We were in a groove.
We were in a groove, folks. We were going. We were doing it. And I was like, man, I wish, like, and I'm a big fan of EDM, and one of the coolest concerts I've ever been to, or festivals, I should say, was the Jakarta Warehouse Project in Jakarta, Indonesia. During my Asia trip. Oh man, fucking incredible. Like 80,000 people, 90,000 people, all the big acts you could ever think of. And I miss that shit. Hopefully I'll get to go eventually. But that's what was playing at the auction house. This is like a real long way of saying I went to Reflections, but whatever.
How did you find it? Did you have fun?
Just wait. I'm not there yet.
Sorry.
So I was like, damn, I love this music. I wish we could go to a bar that has this music. And Natalie was like, there is a bar that has this music. It's called Reflections. Actually, she said it's called Refs. And I was like,
Refs,
what the fuck is Refs? And she was like, Reflections. I was like, oh, yeah, of course. So I was a little bit reluctant, but my one of the other bartenders, Josh, came with us, and Paige and Natalie. Excuse me, got a bit more indigestion here, folks. And Alex, 4 of us, and we go, and hey, they weren't lying. That music was live, not actual live. You know what I mean? Like how the kids say live, like it was fire.
Oh, is that what it means?
Yeah.
Oh, I never
knew that. It wasn't like live music. There was a DJ though, I suppose, but it was like, yeah, we're getting down.
It was lit.
It was lit. Yeah, exactly.
I like lit. I still like lit.
And then it got super packed. I was thinking like the ratio wasn't as I thought it was going to be like 70-30. It was like 99-1. I think Josh and I were the only straight guys in there. I'm going to be realistic with you. But
that's interesting because I've heard that the New Reflections is way more straight than gay.
No.
That's interesting.
No.
Okay.
And not to say there's anything bad about that, obviously. But I was getting a few like pulls on the ear, and I was like, you know
on the
what?
ear.
Well, let's get out of here, Josh. Like, let's go to the ale house. I'm good. But it was fun. Like we got to dance to some. I don't even know why I started this story.
No, well, you're letting loose. You chose to let loose.
Yes.
That's really important.
On Friday. So sometimes I do let loose. I do blow off that steam.
I haven't gone out to a club in so long. My friend Heather was visiting recently, and there's something about when she visits that we revert to college us, or we try to be college us. And we had this moment of like, we were out and my fuck buddy was downtown. I was like, I want to kind of hang around, see what he's doing after. So we should mingle around. Of course. And I was like, what if we went to the Dome to like relive the nostalgia of the Dome? We were in the lineup for maybe 10 minutes and then we're like, fuck this. No. We need to leave. These people are too young. They're not wearing coats. It's cold.
They're so young. I don't know what it is about the Dome, but
they're not.
Those kids don't wear jackets.
And girls are out there in short skirts and like bare legs.
They got
and shit.
like, this is the look, like this, and it's like, what are you doing?
That was me. Like college me would purposely not bring my jacket because it was just an inconvenience, and I didn't want to deal with coat check, and I wanted to be slutty as fuck. That's
pretty good, eh?
I see that and I go, holy shit, that was me.
Can we just get in? I gotta go pee. Can I go pee?
Yes, go pee. Be quick.
Dip us, folks.
Dip us.
I'm sticking.
I can't believe we went live.
I know.
I'm gonna just like watch that video now and just see.
Did you start streaming when I arrived?
I don't know how that happened. And it didn't go on Twitch or YouTube. That's the weird thing. Anyways, it's in the past. There's nothing we can do about it. I'm so sorry.
It doesn't matter. I'm just checking.
You know what? Of all the things that I could have accidentally streamed at this...
What? And we're back.
And we're back from a peep. Where did we leave off? What were we talking about?
Oh.
Clubs?
Reflections.
The Dome.
The Dome.
The Dome. Did you used to go out a lot? Like back in the day? College? What are you looking at?
Yana. She's the cutest. She's from Israel. Shout out Yana.
Oh, tell her she can come fucking hang out anytime for the podcast. Take pictures. I love that.
Yes, I will.
Mm-hmm. Let's actually... Well, I'm at an hour 44. We can wrap pretty soon. I don't want to keep you too late because you have a flight very, very soon. And you need your rest. Ish.
Don't worry about it. We're not done yet.
The rest-ish.
We're not done yet, folks.
What? We're not done yet. What, do you have anything else to say?
Yeah. I definitely do.
Do you know what you're trying to say?
Because I have half a beer left.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Well, I'll fucking keep talking. I just didn't want to keep in case you want to get home.
No.
I didn't
Like, I'm not even gonna sleep. I don't give a fuck.
Bars. You went to refs. You
Yeah, I went to
danced.
refs, but then we were done with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Dome. Actually, yeah, I was pretty happy about my. You like that one?
This
This is exactly what the girls look like at the Dome lineup. Right here. Shoulders up, arms in.
Yeah.
Check it out.
They are.
They all be like this.
You look so small. Shove in more.
Oh my God, I can't believe she just said that, folks. I don't have my dick out if anyone's wondering.
There you go. You just looked really small from that angle for some reason.
There we go, folks.
Let's not isolate those clips.
Back.
Ooh, I thought of a question I could ask.
Do it.
So, okay. What do you like more? Producing, oh my God. I'm trying to get clients here. Producing podcasts or hosting them?
Being a guest on.
Well, yeah, but that
No, I
wasn't
like.
one of the
I think.
options.
I think it depends for sure.
Because you've done both. You've done,
But I've done both.
but I guess you've never just been a host. You've always been producer/host.
Yeah, that's a great point. Mm-hmm. I have not been just a host.
But you chose to stop doing it to focus on the production.
Yeah, I think I enjoy. I like. It's not necessarily that I enjoy the production side more, or the business side more, but I recognize it as the route or path to head down.
Right.
The one that feels right.
And you know what I thought was interesting? Earlier you mentioned like about money and how you'd rather do what you love or whatever. What's your definition of success? Because some people see it as making money or making a certain amount of money.
Yeah, good for them. That's fine. I always looked at growing up like ultra rich people. They're still trying to make money.
Yeah, they just want more.
They just want more and
Once
more
you get
and more.
even, yeah.
And then you look at, and like, let's bring it down to not ultra rich people, but very rich professional athletes. You just pay more for the same shit.
Yeah.
Like, I've got, I don't know, this is my boy Sean Fitzpatrick's watch, Shop 60. Check it out. You get this for free, but it's probably like $100 watch.
Mm.
I could pay $30,000 for a watch.
Yeah.
Do I feel any different? No, I don't think so. So I'm not going to say that like ultra rich people aren't more happy. And there's no question about it that like there's a correlation between having a bit more money and happiness. Some people say it's around 70 to 80,000 before it really kind of just levels off.
Interesting.
However, that's just one particular study. But that's what always stuck with me is like I see these ultra rich people and they're still trying to make money. They
want more.
Not happy. They still want more. And it's like, okay, well that must be not where that what's the word I'm looking for? That contentment.
Right.
That's not where it comes from.
But if you think of your life and what you want for your life, do you see things that are a little more
I might go into politics eventually.
like what?
Don't show this, folks.
Like,
well, it's not blackface, so I can definitely be the prime minister.
oh my God.
Heyo.
Heyo. But like for me, for example, like financially right now, I can't see myself buying a house. I can't see myself.
Fuck houses. You can only
owning
be
a
in
car.
one room at a time. The only good thing about housing or houses, it's like public housing. What? The only good thing about having a house is hosting. So like if you want to host people, then yeah, I get it. But like at the end of the day, you just need a room to cook, a room to chill, a room to poop, and a room to sleep.
Very true. Is there like what do you see as your perfect life?
Oh, I'm
Like-
on the beaches at like 40, folks. Like,
So you want to live
like
down south?
Like I build this media empire for a decade, and then I get the fuck out of here and I start traveling and seeing the world again.
I would like to travel, but see, the thing is, traveling you need money for that.
Well, yeah, I've been building this for 10 years.
Yeah.
I travel as a 40-year-old, and yeah, maybe I can't do all the same things that I did when I traveled a few years ago. But there's so like, in my personal opinion, the greatest experience of life is seeing life, like seeing all the different ways of how human beings have found where they are today.
Yeah.
Like we were very small over here, and not so much with Canada. We have, I'd say, and sorry for the American listeners, but I think we have more of a worldview than Americans, who are kind of content with what they have. They're like, I don't need to leave this country. This is all I need. But there's so much truth in seeing how other people live.
Yeah. And seeing it firsthand, talking
and
to them,
100%.
seeing it, experiencing it. Like, that's why I like even when I went down south, I loved going off the resort, and despite the media being like, you're going to get murdered. But, you know,
That's
like,
a fucking lie to keep you at your 9 to 5, folks.
obviously I feel safe at a resort, so I like the safety and the comfort of
you
staying.
like that comfort of, you know, like you know what you need to do and how you're going to do it.
I like it. But I also like taking a day trip, going off and seeing the reality of Mexico. Like, that's where I went, Mexico. Like,
Absolutely.
like that it's fancy resorts and then just utter poverty.
Yeah.
Like, it's the extremes.
Night and day.
Yeah, you
literally.
can't just have this vision of down south as like, because like the visions that we have of it are like the resort visions, and that's not at all.
Check out Juarez if you want to. No, don't
What
do
it
that.
is.
You'll die. But
Check out what?
Juarez.
Oh.
But and I know we sound like, I went and traveled and it just was
Well, I haven't really traveled
life-changing.
that. I really haven't traveled that much.
But-
like, Mexico is the furthest I've been.
Okay.
But-
Well, there's that age-old story. Probably not age-old. It's probably pretty modern. But, like, people go over to Southeast Asia in particular. They go to Australia, or some people go to Africa, and they come home and they're like, I can't just sit here and pretend like that didn't happen. And people are like, oh, like you went traveling and it changed your life. And I get that. I get that point of view. I totally do. But, like, my personality is, when I know there's other things out there, I can't just sit here and pretend that this is the only way it is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, actually, yeah, that's a very, very good point.
And especially with the internet, you don't need to go anywhere to know that there are so many different ways of life, so many religions, and that's kind of why I'm not like, I mean, I grew up like wholeheartedly believing in our Christian God
Our Lord
until
and
like
Savior,
grade 8, or our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, JC, the Holy Spirit. Oh, I do it with my left hand. That's probably bad.
Yeah.
Just Jesus Christ was right-handed. Anyways, I was just like, how can we pretend that this is right when there's so many other religions out there? Like, how pompous of us to be like, well, this is the right one and this is our heaven, and if we don't save everyone else, they're gonna go to hell. Like, shut the fuck up.
That's like something that like I feel like is constantly on the back burner of my mind, of like, I'd really like to learn more about stuff like that, because I'm definitely not an atheist. I'm not. Like, I
There's definitely something out there.
There's definitely something out there.
Something made all of this, whatever this is.
Yeah, and I have this like obsession with death and fear of death that is overwhelming sometimes, and I often think, okay, Sarah, there's a lot wrong with your life right now. You're not really happy. I'm getting there, but I'm not happy yet. But if I were to get, say, diagnosed with cancer today, right now, and say like I have 2 months, I'm going to find religion. Like, that's probably what I'm going to do.
Fair.
Like I know that that's dramatic, but it's not like I'm going to find the love of my life in 2 months. It's not like I'm going to find my career in 2 months. Like, if I have 2 months left to live,
I thought you were going to say I'm going to see the world, but that's fine.
well, I mean, I don't have the money for that, but if I did, I would. But I want to seek peace in the fact that I'm going to die.
But we don't...
Do you know what I mean? Like, I want that peace because I don't have that peace right now.
Totally, but at the same
So-
time, it's like, what, do you want to go to heaven for forever?
It's not necessarily that. I just don't want to be scared of death.
What's there to be scared of?
I just don't.
I'm just kidding.
I don't.
What am I
yeah.
saying? There's a lot to be scared
I can't
of.
wrap my mind around it. I think about it
I don't
obsessively.
think... Okay, I like to kind of... I don't know. Like I said, I don't believe in religion, so to speak, because it's like humans created religion. But I
Organized religion. But spirituality.
No, well,
Yeah.
you stole my word,
Buzzword.
Sarah. But like, but I don't also want to say like I'm necessarily spiritual, but I'm kind of spiritually scientific.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like
yeah.
when you think about energy, and our bodies have energy. Like, there's energy in there.
Yeah.
We're pumping, our heart is pumping blood, yada yada yada. And the old story goes, like scientifically speaking, energy cannot be created or destroyed. It already existed. So when you die, it's not necessarily that the energy is dying, it's just being transformed into a different type of energy.
Do you believe in ghosts?
I don't think that you end up on this plane in the afterlife. You're not here like fucking people's life up, like strangling them in the afterlife, like this fucking showcase would have you to believe, or fucking TLC. But I don't necessarily believe that, like atheists believe, that you die and it's over. It's blackness.
Right.
But I can completely understand where they're coming from, because before you were born, it was blackness. It was nothing.
That's kind of, I've talked to like so many people with death. Like, it's just like kind of my, like, I love talking about this. When I talk to people, I know a lot of people who see it as nothingness, and that literally when you die, it's just going to be like before you were born. There was a time we weren't born. So death is just that in the future, which I still don't find comforting.
Well, yeah, and that's the very, very scientific way to look at it. And that's why I say I'm kind of like spiritually scientific. But like, I think you were born because energy was transferred.
Well, I was born because my parents got it on.
Yeah, but like
that's
the energy, like, well, I mean, like there were also transfers of fluids, but
oh
like,
my God.
Whoa, we just got really X-rated on Intoxicated here. Like, check out BNV Media.
It's only weird because it's my parents.
But yeah, exactly. But like, energy was transferred into your mother's stomach.
Yeah.
And then you were born.
Yeah.
So it was not energy. You could argue it was like kind of created, but it was just, it was transferred. Like the energy was already there.
Yeah.
Sperm, egg already exists. Energy transfers into a human being.
Right.
So you weren't there because it was a different type of energy. So when you die, it's not like your energy is being transferred back into your mother and your father. So that energy has to go somewhere.
But where?
Exactly.
We don't
know.
That's what I mean.
Hence a million bajillion religions being created.
But that's the thing, like, and that's why I say that, like, if I was diagnosed with cancer, I would probably seek solitude and different I don't even really
it's
spiritual.
It's scary.
I would just need to learn more about what other people think.
This form of consciousness ceases to exist, no question. But we don't know what's next. And I mean, that's the $1 million question, right? Like, our world for a really long time, and we kind of finally, I shouldn't say finally, whatever, a lot of people still believe in it, but are kind of in an age of enlightenment. But for the last thousands and thousands of years, our world has kind of been ruled by that.
Yeah.
Ooh, guys, looks like Mark stayed a little extra and the conversation got a little extra.
I just feel it really hard. Like, it's something, I don't know about you, but I think about these types of things when I go to sleep at night.
Oh yeah.
Like I get it's hard for me to go to bed and just think about like my to-do list. Mind you, I think about that too. But
what kind of to-do list, like with your
what's to do tomorrow and
like who's to do or what?
Well,
JK.
But like I think very large scale. But also, admittedly, like the large scale things that I think about are all very selfish. They're all around me. They're all around my existence and my purpose. And I don't always want it to be that way. I want to learn to have peace with myself so that I can care about other things.
Well, I think...
Am I growing?
Look at you. What episode is this? What's
episode 135,
Look
baby.
it up. Maybe it means something.
Oh, 135?
135. What are those numbers? What's the birth sign?
We could look up like the passage in the Bible.
135 rising.
Shut up!
Just kidding. But I think I'm I'm content with just not knowing and none of us are ever going to know. That's the biggest mystery of life. You can argue that the universe and the brain are the final frontier, but death is the final frontier. Although it's not necessarily final. It's the one thing we will never be able. No, and you know what? I shouldn't even say that. I shouldn't rule that out. Maybe we find a way to eventually communicate with that plane, like so many movies.
I mean, you can do, apparently like there's a drug you can do that gives you the same sensation as death.
It's called DMT. Check out the Joe Rogan podcast at
Did
Joe Rogan
they do it on
Experience.
the podcast?
No, he's got a fucking chamber in his basement.
What?
Like I know him. I was there last week.
But did he do it?
He does it all the time.
Okay, I wasn't sure. Well, I mean, I only dabble in Joe Rogan. Like, when there's a guest on that I like, I'll listen, but I don't listen regularly.
I'll tell you what. I know someone who did DMT, and I'm not going to name them.
Oh, shit.
But
what did they say about it?
They said that they took it, and if you open your eyes, you saw, like, if music was playing, the notes were visualized. Like your brain could see the notes.
Oh my God.
And if you close your eyes, they said that they saw this woman who was speaking to them in a language that wasn't a real language.
Oh, that's scary.
But they understood it, and then they spoke back to her in what they thought was going to be English, but spoke back in that language.
Stop it. No, that freaks me out.
There is so much more to this world, folks.
Oh my God. That freaks me out so much.
And we don't know. But like at the end of the day, like there's you can seek comfort in just like being okay with that. Being okay with that we don't know.
I'm not there.
Oh, you'll get there.
But I need to get there. I don't know how.
BNV Media.
It's a mix of probably therapy, meditation, and I don't know, something else.
I'll tell you what, actually, I'll tell you a story about my ex-girlfriend.
Okay, tell it.
Okay, tell it. Do it right now. When we went to Southeast Asia, I went for 3 months, and she stayed and met up with her friend and stayed for like an extra month or so. Mm-hmm. And when I left, she signed up for a yoga retreat, for like a 5-day yoga retreat.
Yeah.
And little did she know that it was more than yoga. It was very...
It's more than just the physical working out yoga. Like,
yeah,
it's
it
like
it was everything. It was
mindfulness and all that.
Mindfulness, like there were no drugs, but what happened was they had like one of the nights, and I'm at a loss for words here. 2 dippas in, yeah, lightweight. I don't care, whatever. Doesn't matter.
Seriously, you feeling it?
I don't know. I'm gonna blame that on the beer, not my brain just being like, shut the fuck up. But it was nurturing circle. That's not the right word,
okay,
but that's what we're gonna go
something
with.
like that. Yeah.
So it was like everyone was kind of. You're gonna have to cut out this deep sound here, but not deep sound.
Oh,
white noise.
humming.
No. Like the white noise, because I got to think of the perfect word. The circle of not life, and not hypnotizing, but like a hum.
Meditation.
Okay, yeah. So it was kind of like a meditating circle, and they all got together outside, and she said she got the yogi or the instructor got everyone to kind of lie on their backs and stick their tongue back. And if you go really far back in your mouth, there's a soft spot.
Okay.
And she's like, put your tongue there, and that kind of releases this sort of energy.
Okay.
And she said, she was like, I don't buy into this shit. Like,
okay.
She's a very skeptical person, and I'm a very skeptical person as well. So she was like, explaining it to me, and she was like, this, like, what are we doing here? Like, this is, I thought I signed up for yoga. But this woman, she was like kind of coming around, kind of being trancy, that whole thing. And she was like, put your tongue back there, and that's going to like open up this like new portal kind of thing.
Whoa.
And she had visions.
Whoa. Was there, I won't ask specifically what they were. It was probably very personal, but like, was it scary, positive?
It was meaningful.
So did she see people she knew?
Oh yeah.
Oh. Oof.
So
oh boy.
That's just another mystery, and I think that comes with being in a Western civilization where we maybe kind of left that behind because there's still so many questions unanswered.
And
so
skepticism.
We come over here. Skepticism. So we come over here and we're like, listen, we're going to build our civilization on things that we know, not things that we don't know. We're not going to fucking deal with that shit. That's just too much. That's just going to fuck with our heads. It's going to fuck with our minds. So we know this much. Let's build our foundation on that.
Yeah.
But I think there's so many other cultures out there. And that comes back to just exploring the world and exploring different cultures and exploring different types of people. That you're just like, there's so much more to this
that we're just not even tapping into.
That we're not privy to whatsoever.
Yeah, that's crazy. I want to do it all.
There's a documentary out there that, and I don't necessarily buy into this either way, but people who hear voices that we've kind of said, you know, are bipolar, schizophrenic, they have a portal to other dimensions.
That don't even get me started on that because I hear them at night. When I have night terrors.
You have night terrors?
Yeah. When I have night terrors, I hear. My
ex-girlfriends had night terrors.
Sleeping to me, this is going to get sad, but sleeping to me is not
enjoyable.
It's stressful.
It doesn't recharge you like it's supposed to?
So I kind of have a theory.
Okay.
My theory is that I've become this extreme night person. Like 4 or 5 a.m. is usually when I'm naturally going to go to sleep. Yeah. I force myself to go earlier, but I'm tossing and turning for hours. But it's because I'm a little scared too. Because I get to bed, I'm tossing, turning, my mind's going crazy. I'll be on the verge of sleep, and then I'll usually have these little mini night terrors that and I'm just sweating, I'm anxious, my heart's pounding. And sometimes when that happens, I hear unaudible voices. It doesn't happen all the time. A lot of the times it is this, you know, when you have those moments where you feel like you're falling and then you're like,
oh yeah,
it's kind of like that. I
There's
used
a scientific term for that.
I used to have worse night terrors, like seeing shadow people and stuff, but that doesn't happen so much anymore.
Yeah.
But I've heard, and I don't know what they're saying. It's so scary. I don't know what they're saying. It's usually a couple words, and it's sucky. I don't like it. I wish that there was a way I could fix it, and I don't know the solution. I know that once I'm asleep, I'm fine. I'll sleep till noon or 2. Like. So once I'm there, I'm really good at sleeping.
Once you're into it, you're good.
Yeah, once I'm there, I'm really good at sleeping, but it's the getting there that's weird and challenging. And every time I've looked it up, it's always just like, yeah, mental illness, like you're mentally ill, and I'm like, no shit.
It's
who isn't?
She's gonna kill me, guys. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. See, that's another frontier, right? Is like the brain and how does it work and why does it work the way it does for certain people?
Yeah, it's fucked.
It's very much fucked, and we're literally on the cusp of that shit. Like, not even on the cusp, but like we're just starting to chip away at whatever the fuck this is. Because if I want to, like, what year did The Exorcist come out?
No, I don't. I could look it up.
People still think people get possessed by demons, and you know what? Because I'm in a pretty accepting mood right now. Oh, maybe they are like possessed by demons. I don't fucking know, but no, it's like it's mental illness.
1973.
So we're literally just finally accepting that this might just be our brains, and it's like, where the fuck do we go from here?
Man, I think we should. That's a good. Where do we go from here?
Where do we go from here?
I'm gonna close out this episode.
Check out bnvmedia.ca. No, don't check it out yet.
I love the transition. What a great transition. Well, okay, we won't say check out the website. Maybe just you can if you want, but we're still working on. You're still working on it.
It's gonna come out in a couple weeks. Sarah just needs to send us her goddamn bio.
I know.
Write that shit, would you?
I will. I'll do that tomorrow. I actually have a I don't want to jinx it. I think I have a decently slow day at work tomorrow, so I should be able to do that for you. I'm so happy you came on. Thanks so much, buddy.
Hey, anytime.
This was a lot of fun, and you're doing really
We're a
cool stuff.
team.
You should be really, really proud. You say we're a team, but it's honestly, Mark, it's mostly you. You're doing
There
so
we go.
much.
Look,
of this.
folks, I'm actually not that small. Now I'm at the front with Sarah.
You're doing so much, and everyone needs to stay up to date with. You can follow BNV Media on social media.
Yeah, we don't have any posts yet because
But
we're waiting for the website launch, but at bnv.media.
Yes.
Check it out.
And just stay tuned, I would say. Stay
tuned.
fucking tuned. And I'll keep you guys updated as well. Obviously with the podcast and like official launch and
Right.
and all that.
And if you want to join the original network, the BNV Media Network, let us know. You got an idea for a
Reach out.
podcast? Reach out. If you have a business that wants a podcast, I'll tell you right fucking
Yes.
now. It is the new marketing, and it's not going anywhere. It's here to stay.
Yes.
You look at every massive company right now; they have podcasts. Okay.
Yes.
And I'm not going to be charging as much as whoever the fuck made their podcasts.
Very true.
Check it out. Check it out. Check it out.
There's tons of opportunity. Reach out with questions if you're interested. And yeah, this was so great.
This
The
is
shit
fun.
got deep, and I love deep conversations, so that was good.
Yup. We really got into it. We were like, hour and 45. Let's dive in.
Yes, and check out the other podcasts that we mentioned. So we got
Do
False
it.
Nine. We got
Safety off.
Safety Off.
What you make it.
Courtside Moms.
Courtside Moms. And
Lather,
check
Rinse,
out
Repeat.
Lather, Rinse, Repeat in a couple months. Just kidding. Couple weeks.
I'm gonna get them to do an ad for me.
But they have their Instagram up, so you can go check out any news. It's at Lather, Rinse, Repeat Podcast.
Yes.
And finally, go check out Hannah. Hit with Hannah
Hit with
at
Hannah.
move.east. You want to start moving and you live out east? Check it out.
Check it out, Mark. You get to. Oh yes. I don't know if they can see.
Oh, that's not going to do it.
I'll link to everyone's socials below. More work for me, but I'll do it.
It's whatever.
Mark, ring that bell. Okay, quick.
Why doesn't it work? Oh.
Oh my gosh. We're professionals.
Headbutts.